Chapter 632. Especially the old-fashioned Madame Jiang Hong. You're such an interesting kid, your brother isn't even married yet. For someone of my brother's status, women are always throwing themselves at him. It's normal for him to have children before he's married. After all, the Hua family is a big business. It's only natural for us to have children. Good, you finally said something nice. The Hua family will definitely prosper in the future. Hua Jinghai was very happy as he picked up his wineglass and took a small sip. Hua Xiqian held his wineglass with interest and looked into Hua Min's eyes. Your brother has been very tired lately. It's probably going to be difficult for him to have a child. Wait for me to recover, I'll count on your blessings, sis. During this time, everyone gave him their gifts. Xiqian, with your current status, you can't drive a Ferrari or a Maserati anymore. I got you a Bentley. The old man handed over the keys to the Bentley. Thanks, Dit. Hua Xiqian smiled as he played with the keys. The old man was quite generous. He was willing to give him a Bentley. He must have put in a lot of effort. Hua Xiqian wondered what kind of trap was behind this sweet gift. Jiang Hong took out a bunch of keys and placed them on the table. Then, she turned around and said quietly, I bought you a mansion in the new city up north, Fuguei Garden. You love me so much, you know that I like the land at Fuguei Garden. When I get married, it'll be my new home. Hua Xiqian smiled. Jiang Hong's eyes were filled with love. Although Hua Xiqian wasn't her biological son, she treated him like her own. Over the years, the mother and son got along very well. Xin Jiani nudged Hua Xi's arm as if to remind him. Hua Xi reluctantly took out a paper bag and handed it over. Big brother, happy birthday. Because I don't have much savings, I can only give you a belt. Thank you, Xi. Hua Xiqian took the bag without opening it, but Hua Min could tell from the label that it was a luxury belt worth 70 to 80,000 RMB. Shen Jiani took out a brocade box and smiled. Although you don't lack watches, I really didn't know what to buy. So I discussed with Yan Yan and bought this for you. Do you like it? It was an Omega limited edition male watch. Hua Xiqian glanced at it. It cost about 200,000 yuan. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't expensive either. For Shen Jiani, it was the most suitable. Hua Xiqian still had a smile on his face. He took the watch and said, Thank you, Aunt Shen. Also, thank you, my good little sister Yanyan. Hua Min remained silent. This group of people really came from rich families. They were indeed different. Car, house, watch, belt. Just the few items just now would cost at least tens of millions. She truly felt that it was too extravagant. Just then, Shen Jiani purposely asked gently, Mian, what gift did you get for Big Brother? Show it to us. Hua Min felt a little awkward. She really didn't prepare anything, but it wasn't her fault. Hua Xiqian, that bastard, didn't tell her that it was his birthday today? Hua Min was just about to reply that she didn't buy anything. Hua Xiqian interrupted, Little sister Mian, I already gave him something. But what did this girl give him? Hua Jinghai was quite curious. Jiang Hong also smiled. It must be expensive. After all, our Mian is now GK's a young lady. Hua Min could tell that they all knew about her relationship with Qin Chu. No wonder they looked at her differently this time. So that's why. Yeah, how could Qin Chu's wife be stingy? Sister Hua Min, show it to us. Hua Xi sneered. Chapter 633. This is my little secret, so I can't show it to you guys. However, I can tell you that Mian's gift is my favorite, Hua Xiqian purposely said mysteriously. Upon hearing this, Shen Jiani's expression changed slightly. Then, she looked at Hua Jinghai, and the two of them seemed to exchange glances. After the dinner, Hua Min sat on the sofa and ate some fruit. I'll ask the driver to take you home later, Hua Jinghai said, not knowing what was going on. No, Dad, Mian is staying at home today, Hua Xiqian interjected. Staying at home? Everyone seemed to be a little surprised. Hua Min didn't even want to come, but this time, he was planning to stay at home? What was the reason for this? Yeah, I'm pretty tired after work today, so I won't be going home, Hua Min explained calmly. You're not going home? Will Qin Chu agree? Hua Jinghai was still in disbelief. Dad, my brother-in-law isn't home. You must have heard about the incident at GK's subsidiary company, right? Hua Xiqian reminded him. Hua Zhenghai slapped his forehead upon hearing this. Oh, right, I just remembered. Look at me, I'm such a dotard. Me, how's the situation over there? It's not done yet, Qin Chu is there to take care of the aftermath. Oh, okay, don't worry, we're all family. If you need anything, just tell me or your brother, we'll do our best to help you. Hua Min wanted to vomit at Hua Zhenghai's hypocritical words, thinking back to last time, when Hua Zhenghai tried to tear down the old mansion and threatened his mother. Hua Min wanted to slap this old bastard. What a hypocrite, what a despicable person. However, he still had to save his face. Therefore, Hua Min obediently nodded. I got it. After chatting for a bit, everyone went their separate ways. Hua Zhenghai liked to stay in his small study and read books and write calligraphy. Jiang Hong was a Buddhist, so she spent most of her time in the mansion's Buddhist temple chanting scriptures. Xin Jiani, on the other hand, liked to maintain her health. After dinner, she would go for a walk in the garden and trim the plants. Needless to say, Hua Si was also a frequent customer of the nightclub. After dinner, he couldn't wait to leave and didn't want to stay a minute longer. Before he left, he even told her that he had a friend's birthday today and might be out late, so she didn't have to wait for him. Hua Min sneered in his heart. How could he help this ado up? Even if he was given 3 zhuge liangs, he still wouldn't be a match for Hua Xiqian. Someone like Hua Si wouldn't be able to survive more than 2 episodes in an ancient palace drama. Hua Min really wondered how Hua Zhenghai and Xin Jiani had given birth to such an idiot. Young master, Mrs. Room is ready. The maid came forward to report. Hey, Mian, come with me. Hua Xiqian put one hand in his pocket and went upstairs. Chapter 634. Hua Min's heart sank. She didn't know what Hua Xiqian was up to. Are you going to give it to me or not? You haven't told me what it is, how am I going to give it to you? It's simple, just a lock of hair. Hua Xiqian reached out to touch Hua Min's hair. However, she brushed his hand away. Why do you want my hair? Do you want it to be a curse? Give it to me? Hua Min looked at him with a dark expression. You have such a wild imagination, it's a shame that you're not a writer. Hua Xiqian couldn't stop laughing. He hadn't laughed so heartily in a long time. Then why do you want my hair? Hua Min felt like it was perverted to ask for someone's hair for no reason. Maybe it was because she read too many horror novels, but she always felt that something like hair shouldn't be given out so easily. Hua Xiqian didn't answer directly. Instead, he turned around and walked to a guest room on the 2nd floor. Then he opened the door. It's very spacious here, you can sleep here tonight. Okay. Hua Min nodded and walked in. She looked around. It was a postmodern mix of black and blue. It was simple and beautiful. To be honest, she quite liked the style. Is there anything else? Hua Min turned around and saw that Hua Xiqian had no intention of leaving. Give me your hair. Hua Xiqian reached out his hand and continued to ask for a birthday present. You didn't even tell me what it was for, why should I give it to you? Don't worry, I'm not going to cast a curse on you. I'm not that perverted, Hua Xiqian explained with a smile. That's not necessarily true. Hua Min obviously didn't want to give it to him. Hua Xiqian walked over and closed the door, then he whispered into Hua Min's ear, I'm going to take your hair and do a DNA test. You? Hua Mian was indeed frightened by his words. Hua Xiqian wanted to do a DNA test for her out of the blue. Could it be that he knew something? Watching Hua Min's expression change bit by bit, it was really fun. Hua Xiqian laughed again. Look at how scared you are. I was just teasing you. What DNA test? Aren't you my sister? Hua Min didn't know what to say. What's wrong? Didn't your Uncle Jing and Dad carry you for a DNA test? What are you afraid of? Hua Xiqian asked. Hua Min suddenly remembered that her mother had told her that not long after she was born, Uncle Jing did take her to Hua Zhenghai for a DNA test. The result was obvious, but the Hua family was still unwilling to acknowledge her, simply because she was a girl. If it had been a boy, the outcome might have been different. Everyone knew that Hua Zhenghai favored boys over girls. But she was already sure that she wasn't a member of the Hua family, so what was with the DNA test back then? Did Uncle Jing do something to it? But why would he do that? Hua Min was confused. According to the results of her investigation, Jing De, or Uncle Jing, was the only person who knew the whole truth. He definitely knew exactly what had happened in Dong Tao Town back then. But even though he knew the truth, Uncle Jing still accompanied Hu Jinghai to do a DNA test to prove that she was Hu Jinghai's daughter. Why did he do that? Was it for money? It didn't make sense. Later on, the Hua family didn't acknowledge her. All these years, Uncle Jing worked hard to support the family and was very good to her. It probably had nothing to do with money. Hu Min fell into deep thought again. Hu Xiqian reminded her again, "Little sister Mian, can't we have a nice chat?" Chapter 635. I definitely can't give you my hair, Hu Min insisted. Is there no room for negotiation? Hu Xiqian looked at her as if he was wronged. No. So, you're not going to give me a present? You're so stingy. Hu Xiqian complained. Was Hu Min stingy? Of course not, she just didn't prepare in advance. What's your WeChat number? Hu Min took out his phone and asked. You want to add me? Hu Xiqian was immediately interested. Yeah. Hu Min nodded, which was rare for him. Hu Xiqian immediately took out his phone from his pocket, opened the QR code, and placed it in front of Hu Min. Here. Hu Min silently took out his phone and glanced at it. When he saw Hu Xiqian's WeChat name, he was speechless. Humbly gentleman, was he? Of course not, his WeChat name was so ironic, he had no other choice. After it was verified, Hu Min sent him a red envelope. Then it said, Happy birthday. Hu Xiqian smiled in surprise. Oh, well, there's really a red envelope. I'm so happy. However, when he opened the red envelope, he couldn't be happy anymore. 88 yuan. 88 yuan. Little sister Mian, you're so generous. Hu Xiqian looked at Hu Min helplessly. You're rich, you don't need money, it's just a token of my sincerity. Okay, you're right, I don't know what to say. Although Hu Min only gave him a small red envelope, Hu Xiqian was still very happy, because Hu Min actually added him on WeChat. It seemed like he gained a lot. Go to bed early, I'm going out with my friends. Hu Xiqian waved his hand. Then he turned around and closed the door. Hu Min heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that he hadn't caused any trouble. He had been scared out of his wits. Hair and DNA were all gimmicks, right? Hu Min sat at the head of the bed. He was bored to death. This was not his home, and there were restrictions everywhere. Because the guest room didn't have a bathroom, it wasn't convenient to take a shower. She didn't want to go out and use the public bathroom, so she could only take out her phone to play. She also chatted with Zhu Lingling. You said you only gave Hu Xiqian 88 yuan? Zhu Lingling laughed maniacally in the voice message. It was very demonic. Aha! You're too stingy. Don't forget that she gave you an 8 million yuan bracelet for your birthday. So what? Hu Min disagreed. 8 million yuan and 88 yuan is too big of a difference, right? He doesn't need money, and I didn't prepare anything else. He kept asking me for more, so I had no choice but to send him a WeChat red packet, Hu Min said helplessly. You're a genius, Zhu Lingling exclaimed. After chatting with Zhu Lingling, Hu Min received a call from Qin Chu. Hubby. Hu Min greeted obediently. You're such a good girl. Did you do something wrong again? Qin Chu asked. Of course not, why would I? You didn't drink behind my back, right? Qin Chu asked worriedly. I swear. What are you doing? I was bored, I just chatted with Lingling on WeChat. What about you? I just came back from work. How's it going over there? Hu Min was worried. It's almost done, I'll be back tomorrow. That's great. Hu Min was excited. What? Did you miss me? Qin Chu chuckled. Of course, yeah, I missed you too. I haven't eaten you in a long time, I really miss your taste. Ahem. Qin Chu's explicit confession made Hu Min cough violently. Mr. Qin, can you be a little more reserved? Why should I be reserved? Honey, you'll have to get used to it. Hu Min was speechless. Honey, is your period coming? My period is coming in a few days. How about I book a flight back right now? Qin Chu was really in a hurry. If he waited until Hu Mian's period came, He would be delayed for another week, and he would probably go crazy. Chapter 636. You don't joke around. Do you have to be in such a hurry? Of course I'm in a hurry. I don't want to wait a second longer. Although they were on the other side of the phone, Huamin's face still reddened slightly. Chu wasn't a particularly lustful person, but he was still addicted to Huamian. Honey, I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, then I'll get off work early and wait for you at home. Okay. After hanging up the phone, Huamin's heart was still filled with sweetness. The chemistry between her and Chu was always this high. They were each other's most important existences, and they cared about each other the most. Although she didn't know how things were going on over there, Huamin believed that Chu would take care of everything. With Mr. Qin's intelligence and wisdom, any problem wouldn't be a problem anymore. Seductive fox. Huaxiqian's friends booked a luxurious private room here. There were more than 30 men and women in the private room, and they were all extremely happy. Su Yu and Wei Liao were also there. It was very lively. Su Yu and Huaxiqian sat side by side, drinking and chatting. You seem to be very nice to Huamin, brother Hua. Su Yu had a smile on his face. He's my little sister. Of course I have to take care of her. Huaxiqian knew that Su Yu was talking about Mo Shui. He helped Huamin and GK, which meant that he was indirectly going against Su Yu. The good thing was that Su Yu didn't care, because Huamin was there. It's your birthday today, why didn't your little sister come? Su Yu's words were filled with sarcasm. After all, he knew that Huaxiqian and Huamin didn't have a good relationship. Or to put it bluntly, Huamin didn't like this older brother of his. Huaxiqian could hear the sarcasm in Huamian's voice, but he only smiled. My little sister is tired. She wanted to rest after dinner. I just sent her back to the guest room to rest. She's in your house? Su Yu was a little surprised. Yeah, the little girl followed me home after work. She had dinner with me and even sent me a WeChat red packet, Huaxiqian said as he took out his phone to show off to Su Yu. Then, before Su Yu could say anything, he added, although it's only 88 yuan as far as I know, there are very few people who can cheat her of her money. Indeed. Su Yu's reply was sour. Why was everyone else so lucky to have Huamin's WeChat? Why didn't he have it? How's President Su doing? I heard that Jian Tong is very popular at Imperial Star. She's not my cup of tea. Su Yu picked up a glass of wine and slowly took a sip. Are you still thinking about my little sister? She's married? Huaxiqian laughed. I don't need you to remind me of that, I've always known. So what if she's married? Can she guarantee that she'll be with Chu forever? I don't believe it. I'll wait for the day she divorces Chu. I'm afraid that's a little difficult. I'm never afraid of difficult things in my life. Su Yu was full of confidence. Okay, then I hope that you'll realize your dream soon. How about, you help me persuade your little sister to dump Chu as soon as possible. I don't know what's so good about that guy. His face is as cold as ice, and he doesn't even smile. He's so old-fashioned, just like an old man. How boring. Su Yu acted like a child, criticizing Chu in front of Huaxiqian. Huaxiqian only smiled. If my words were effective, then things wouldn't be like this now. You know how willful my little sister is. The two of them chatted and laughed. In the blink of an eye, it was already late at night. Huaxiqian never rejected beautiful women, so he was known as a playboy in the entertainment industry. Many of the beauties in the room wanted to leave with Huaxiqian. After all, he was handsome and gentle. Apparently, he was also very good in bed. Therefore, they didn't hold back anymore. Just as the girls were getting into a heated argument, the door to the room suddenly opened. Io, the superstar is here. Someone in the private room shouted. Mo Shui walked in elegantly, wearing a golden dress and letting her long, wavy hair down. Then she sat down right next to Huaxiqian. I just finished recording a new song. Sorry for being late, Mo Shui said. It's okay, as long as you're here. Huaxiqian smiled gently. Young Master Su, you're here too. Mo Shui nodded and greeted Su Yu when she saw him. If I knew that you wouldn't go to the States, you would have signed with Imperial Star. Su Yu looked at Mo Shui, half jokingly. Chapter 637. Young Master Su, you must be joking. Imperial Star is full of stars. How could a small celebrity like me fit in? Mo Shui was extremely talented, so even when she was talking to a big shot like Su Yu, she was still fearless. This was very admirable. Wei Liao and Su Yu both smiled, but they didn't say anything. Hua Xiqian hung out with them for a little while longer. Seeing that it was getting late, he left Seductive Fox with Mo Shui. Everyone went their separate ways. Xiqian, come to my place tonight. Mo Shui rarely acted coquettishly. Perhaps it was because she drank a lot today, but she wrapped her arms around Hua Xiqian's neck and stuck to him. Not today. As expected, Hua Xiqian rejected her. Why not? Mo Shui was a little disappointed. Shui, you never ask why. Hua Xiqian smiled, got into his car, and drove away. I think I know. I knew from the first time I saw her. Her eyes are very similar to mine. No, they're even prettier than mine. So, you've always been nice to me because of her, right? Shui, women shouldn't be too smart, it's tiring. Hua Xiqian didn't answer her directly, but he indirectly admitted it. Mo Shui felt extremely uncomfortable, but she didn't show it. They didn't speak the entire way back to her place. Mo Shui still wanted to ask, are you really not coming up with me? It's fine if you don't want to, but can we at least do it? Mo Shui was very direct. What she meant was that he didn't need to stay the night, and he could leave as soon as he finished. However, Hua Xiqian still rejected her. Go up, it's getting late. Okay then, be careful. Bye. In the end, Mo Shui reluctantly waved her hand and turned to go upstairs. Hua Xiqian drove off in the new Bentley that old fart gave him. 11:30 p.m., Hua Min was actually quite picky with his bed. He was used to staying at Imperial Park, so when he first arrived at South Hill Manor, he couldn't sleep. It was because he wasn't used to it. He thought that he wouldn't be able to sleep here, but to his surprise, the incense in the house smelled so good. She actually fell asleep in a daze. This kind of smell was something that she, a doctor, had never smelled before. It was a very strange smell. Perhaps she didn't know that the incense lamp contained a unique hypnotic spice. So, Hua Min fell into a deep sleep. Just then, the door opening, Hua Xiqian walked in, wearing a white shirt and black pants. Hua Mianxi's aunts, Hua's Master Hua, he covered Hua, and Mrs. Hua Hun finally, Hua's Hua Su. In Hua Su's Hun's Hua alone in Hua standing Hua this tea and look Hua this Hun. Su tea. It was such a luxury to let her sleep in the Hua mansion for one night. He was the one who made Mo Shui give up her future in Hollywood in exchange for this opportunity. His request was simple. Hua Mian could spend the night here alone. Even though he knew that Hua Min was fast asleep, she wouldn't know even if he did something. But he didn't. Under the dim moonlight, he stared at Hua Min's beautiful nose and red lips. Hua Xiqian felt like something was slowly growing in his heart. Mian, you're great. But how long do I have to wait? Hua Xiqian's eyes darkened. Chapter 638. Hua Min had a very hazy dream. She felt like someone was looking at her in her room, but she couldn't wake up. Morning. Hua Min woke up at 6 in the morning and washed up. Then, without waiting for anyone else to wake up, she headed downstairs. She couldn't wait to leave the Hua mansion. She didn't want to stay a second longer. However, to her surprise, she bumped into Hua Yanyan at the door, who had just come home. It seemed like she had just come home and hadn't removed her makeup yet. Her hair was messy, and her heels were covered in dirt. Why are you here? Hua Yanyan asked impolitely when she saw Hua Min. Why can't I be here? My last name is Hua too. Hua Min purposely tried to piss her off. Dad didn't publicly acknowledge you, but you and your mother shamelessly threw themselves at me. Don't be so loud, we're both mistresses. You're laughing at me like this, it's like the pot calling the kettle black. You're so stupid. After speaking, Hua Min didn't plan on paying any attention to her and walked away. However, Hua Yanyan grabbed onto her hair. She didn't hold back at all. Hua Yanyan had been fooling around a lot lately, and she didn't come home until late at night. The person she admired the most was Su Yu, but she was sure that she had no chance with him. Su Yu didn't even talk to her, he didn't even give her a chance to eat with him. When she heard that Huamin was going to marry Qin Chu, she was furious, she was so jealous that she went crazy. She was so ordinary and she looked so ordinary. How could she have everything? Hua Yanyan didn't want to admit defeat. In a fit of anger, she lost control and grabbed onto Huamin's hair. Huamin didn't expect Hua Yanyan to actually hit her. She was crazy. Before she could fight back, Hua Yanyan screamed in pain. Hua Mian turned around and saw that Hua Yanyan had been pushed to the corner by Hua Xiqian and was leaning against the table. "Let go of me, don't do things like this again." Hua Xiqian coldly stared into Hua Yanyan's eyes. "It's none of your business, I'm here to teach that bitch a lesson," Hua Yanyan yelled. As soon as the word bitch left his mouth, Hua Xiqian tightened his grip. Hua Yanyan couldn't breathe. "Let go. If I see you looking for trouble with Huamin again, you will leave the country immediately." Hua Si has learned his lesson after staying in the Philippines for 3 months. "Why don't I send you to India? I heard that you can do whatever you want to women on the bus there. With your personality, I'm sure you'll like it." Hua Xiqian enunciated each word clearly. Hua Yanyan was so scared that her face turned pale. "Get out, you're ruining my good mood." Hua Xiqian suddenly let go of Hua Yanyan, and Hua Yanyan ran upstairs. "Aren't you afraid that she'll tell the old man what you did to her?" Huamin looked at Hua Xiqian and asked. Hua Xiqian picked up a handkerchief and wiped his hands. Chapter 639. What's going on? Shen Jiani frowned slightly. Hu Jinghai also looked towards the door. "Let her in." Shen Jiani opened the door to see Hua Yanyan crying so hard that her makeup was smudged. Hua Yanyan walked in and explained what just happened while crying. Of course, she avoided the important details and talked about the trivial ones. After hearing what she said, Hu Jinghai asked, "Did you yell at Huamin again?" "I didn't, I just said a few things to her," Hua Yanyan said guiltily. "You don't have to hide it. How could I not know what you've been like all these years? How many times have I told you that Huamin isn't the same as before? She's President Qin's wife now, a young lady of GK. We still need her to help you deal with Hua Xiqian, but now you're the one who pushed her over. Isn't it normal for Hua Xiqian to help Huamin? I knew that he was trying to get Huamin on his birthday when he invited Huamin over." Shen Jiani was speechless as she looked at her brainless daughter. Hu Jinghai's face darkened. "Yan, you need to change your personality, you can't keep messing around like this." "I don't want to go to India, don't make me go abroad. C was in the Philippines for so long and almost couldn't come back, it's so scary. It turned out that she was worried about being exiled. Don't worry, your dad loves you so much, he won't." Shen Jiani felt bad for her daughter, so she held Hua Yanyan's hand and comforted her. "As long as I'm alive, that adopted son of mine won't be able to call the shots. I know what I'm doing, but don't cause trouble for yourself." "I know, Dad." Hua Yanyan was relieved to hear that her father was willing to protect her. "Don't run around for a while. If necessary, we can choose to get married, Dad. I don't want to get married so early." "That's not up to you. You have to think about the bigger picture," Hu Jinghai lectured. "Do you still have any hope with Su Yu?" Shen Jiani asked tentatively. Hua Yanyan shook her head dejectedly. "I can't even see him now. Su Yu's circle is very closed. Only a few people can hang out with him. I was lucky enough to see him a few times before, but he completely ignored me. I heard that Su Yu is interested in Hua Xiqian." Hu Jinghai remembered what Hua Xiqian said before. "That vixen, she's so shameless. She's already married, but she's still trying to seduce young Master Su. Disgusting." "Shut up and listen to your father." Shen Jiani glared at her daughter. "If Su Yu really likes Su Yu, then her words have weight. Why don't we let Yan stay with Huamin? Maybe she'll be able to see Su Yu, but the Su family isn't a place where we can just marry into." Shen Jiani was a little worried. "That's not a problem, as long as Yan is pregnant. The Su family won't deny it. Old Master Su is very strict," Hu Jinghai analyzed. "Dad, are you asking me to beg Huamin? I don't want to, I hate her to death." You don't have to do it. With your relationship with her, I don't think she'll help you. I'll think of a way. That, as long as I can be with Su Yu, I'll listen to everything you say. Hui Yanyan wiped away her tears, and her bad mood immediately disappeared. Hui Zhenghai was good at scheming, and now he had set his sights on Huamin. That was because she was too valuable to be used, of course. Huamin wasn't easy to talk to, and he still had to plan this carefully. Huamin and Hua Xiqian left the Hua mansion one after another and went their separate ways at a fork in the road. Huamin drove straight to South Side, just as she arrived at the office. A delivery man came in behind her. Miss Huamin? This is the breakfast that Mr. Hua Xiqian ordered for you. After speaking, the delivery man placed an exquisite lunchbox on the table. Chapter 640. Just leave it here. Okay, please enjoy. Huamin changed into her white lab coat and looked at the breakfast. She thought that Hua Xiqian was a very attentive person. Breakfast was sumptuous. There were deep-fried dough sticks, hot soy milk, pickles, and a box of soup dumplings. Just as she was about to eat, Hua Xiqian sent her a WeChat message. Is breakfast here yet? Just got here. Okay, eat up. You have a weak stomach. Try not to go hungry in the future. Thank you. This was the first time that Huamin spoke to Hua Xiqian without hostility. Even when Mo Shui signed the contract, she didn't thank him so sincerely. Huamin's stomach was an old problem. It started when she was in school. Because she didn't like to eat breakfast, she often went to school on an empty stomach. In the end, it developed into gastritis. Eating hot or cold food, or hard or spicy food would cause her stomach to hurt. This was a small problem that even Qin Chu didn't care about, but Hua Xiqian actually knew about it. He even knew that the medicine she took when she was sick was called omeprazole. How did he know? After Huamin finished breakfast, she casually scrolled through her friend's circle to see what everyone was saying. To her surprise, she saw that Hua Xiqian had posted something. Hua Xiqian's birthday was yesterday, so logically speaking he should be showing off at night with celebrities. However, this morning he only posted a screenshot of Huamin's red packet. Huamin's name was blurred out, but with such an awesome number, Huamin definitely knew that it was him. Other than himself, no one else would dare to send Hua Xiqian 88. After Hua Xiqian posted, the comments section exploded. Haha. Mr. Hua, what's going on? Who sent you that red packet? That's a huge one. Young Master Hua, who is this? Why are you censoring her? Let us see. Boss, tell me, who sent this red packet? Are they trying to embarrass the Hua Corporation? I'm going to chop her up right now. In any case, everyone was saying all sorts of things. Hua Xiqian didn't reply. He just smiled. However, Su Yu's reply was more thought-provoking. He only commented with 3 words, I want it too. Hua Xiqian replied, I'll send you 88 in a bit. I don't want it from you. I want it from her. Su Yu proudly replied. Then I won't be able to help you, Hua Xiqian said proudly. He knew that Su Yu was jealous of him, jealous to the point of madness. This was the first time in his life that he felt so superior. After breakfast, Huamin began to get busy. During this time, he sent a WeChat message to Qin Chu. Qin Chu had already boarded the plane and would be landing in 3 hours. Huamin was ecstatic at the thought of being able to share a bed with Mr. Qin tonight. During lunch, just as he was about to go to the cafeteria, he received a phone call. Huamin, I'm Jiang Xiaowei. Huamin didn't know how to react. I'm outside the hospital, come out for a second. Huamin hung up the phone and walked to the door. As expected, Jiang Xiaowei was eavesdropping outside the hospital in a white Lexus. What's wrong? Why aren't you coming in? Huamin asked curiously as he looked at her through the car window. Get in the car. Come with me. Jiang Xiaowei looked at Huamin and said. Jiang Xiaowei always appeared and disappeared like a ghost. She rarely contacted Huamin, but she always went straight to the point. On WeChat, she never liked or sent him a private message. She was truly a cold and aloof woman. However, she was willing to be friends with Huamin. Weirdos liked weirdos. If Jiang Xiaowei didn't say that she was straight, Huamin would have suspected that she was gay. Chapter 641. Where are we going? I have to go to work in a bit. Huamin was a little hesitant. I'll be back soon. Don't worry, it won't take up too much of your time. Huamin nodded. Without another word, he opened the car door and got into the car. 10 minutes later, they arrived at a high-end Western restaurant. Jiang Xiaowei waved her hand. Waiter, we're here to order. Then she looked at Huamin. Their steak is really good. I'll order for you. Okay. Jiang Xiaowei then ordered 2 steaks, 2 drinks, fruit salad, and ice cream. Then, the two began to eat in silence. After about 30 minutes, they were full. Huamin asked curiously, Did you ask me to come here to eat with you? No, I'm here to go on a blind date with me. Blind date? Where is he? Huamin looked left and right, but he didn't see a single man. He'll be here soon. I asked him to come at 12:30. He'll be here right after we finish eating. Don't we have to wait for him? Is that okay? Huamin thought that Jiang Xiaowei came half an hour early, ate like crazy, and then waited for her blind date. What an awesome idea. Why should I wait for him? It's not like I don't know him that well, Jiang Xiaowei said matter-of-factly. You're so outstanding, so you have to go on blind dates too. Huamin truly admired Jiang Xiaowei. She was young, pretty, highly educated, and came from a good family. She really had no flaws. But a woman like her had to go on blind dates. It was quite sad. Haven't you heard of the ABCD law? Jiang Xiaowei wiped the corner of her mouth and asked Huamin. Huamin shook his head. Okay, when did you come to Earth? Jiang Xiaowei looked at Huamin helplessly, as if she was really looking at an alien. Huamin felt that he was fashionable enough. He would check Weibo or something when he had nothing to do. However, in Jiang Xiaowei's eyes, he suddenly became an alien. Jiang Xiaowei looked at Huamin helplessly and said slowly, if men and women are divided into 4 levels of excellence, A, B, C, and D, then a man will look for B woman, B man will look for C woman, C man will look for D woman, and in the end, only a woman and D man will be left. These are 2 extremes, and these 2 types of people will never be together. Men will never want to find someone better than themselves, and women will always want to find the best. This is the tragedy of society. So, you're the only one left, Huamin sighed. Correct. Huamin suddenly felt very grateful. She didn't come from a good family, and she wasn't extremely beautiful either. Therefore, she categorized herself as a B woman. In the end, she was able to be with a man like Mr. Qin. Jiang Xiaowei's words made a lot of sense. Just then, a young man wearing glasses walked over from not too far away. Then he looked at the 2 women at the table and was a bit confused. Excuse me, which one of you is Miss Jiang Xiaowei? The man in glasses asked weakly. Huamin pointed at Jiang Xiaowei, who was sitting beside him. The man in glasses nodded and sat down across from them. First, he looked at the empty plates that were left over. Then he looked at Jiang Xiaowei and introduced himself. Hello, my name is Du Zhongqi. I graduated from Beijing University with a master's degree in finance and economics. My mother works at the Water Conservancy Bureau as a section chief, and my father is an executive at a telecommunications company. Our family owns 8 houses in this city, and this guy is really honest. He immediately introduced himself as soon as he arrived. It was as if he was reciting a textbook. Huamin almost laughed when he heard this. Before the man in glasses could finish, Jiang Xiaowei impatiently waved her hand and interrupted him. Sorry, I had to interrupt you first. Chapter 642. Jiang Xiaowei then asked, I'm sorry, but I'm not interested in your family background, wealth, or your parents' jobs at all. Marriage is a matter between 2 people. I only care about you as a person. I chose to go on a blind date with you this time because your resume said that your IQ is as high as 115, right? That's right. The man in glasses nodded, feeling a sense of superiority. Very good, then I'll give you 3 questions. Try them out. You're going to give me questions? Huamin mumbled quietly after hearing Jiang Xiaowei's words. If I don't give him questions, how would I know if his high IQ is his own or someone else's? There are so many scammers nowadays. After hearing Jiang Shaowei's words, Huamin felt like they made a lot of sense. Therefore, she silently ate her ice cream and waited to see what questions Jiang Shaowei was going to give to her blind date. She thought about it and thought that it would be fun. There's an incense stick. The thickness is uneven. In ancient times, people used incense sticks to calculate time. For example, the time it takes for an incense stick to burn is 1 hour. However, when the thickness of the incense is uneven, it can be fast or slow. Burning halfway doesn't mean that it's actually half an hour. Tell me, how do you use this uneven incense stick to calculate an accurate half an hour? After Jiang Shaowei gave him her questions, the man in glasses was a little dumbfounded. He thought that Jiang Shaowei was going to give him a brain teaser, like how there are 7 monkeys on the tree and 1 monkey on the ground. How many monkeys are there in total? However, after Jiang Shaowei gave him her questions, he racked his brains but still couldn't come up with an answer. Bro, it's been 1 minute. Do you know how to do it or not? Jiang Shaowei looked at her watch impatiently. Give me some more time, I need to think. The man in glasses was a little anxious. In fact, he really wanted to take out his phone and search on Baidu, but he was helpless as the 2 women across from him looked at him. Then, Jiang Shaowei looked at Huamin and said, "Tell him I can't take it anymore." Huamian stopped eating her ice cream and said calmly, "It's actually quite simple. You just have to light up the 2 ends of the incense stick. The place where the flames meet might not be the center of the incense stick, but the time it takes for them to meet is exactly half an incense stick's time, which is half an hour." Did you hear that? Jiang Shaowei looked at the man in glasses. The man nodded. "I'm enlightened." Then listen to the next question. Another test? The man in glasses was a little nervous. "Isn't your IQ 115? The one sitting next to me is 130, so in order to test your IQ, I still have to ask." The man in glasses looked at Huamin guiltily. Jiang Shaowei continued, "This one's quite simple. I'll give you 10 seconds to answer. Listen carefully. There are 4 pairs of socks of different colors on my bedside. Every time I wear them, I randomly pick up a few and find a pair. How many socks do I have to pick up to make sure there's at least 1 pair of socks? Let me think. It should be 4, the man in glasses answered. Huamin looked at him sympathetically and interrupted. She has 4 socks of different colors. What if she's unlucky and picks up 4 socks of different colors? Yeah, I didn't think of that. The man in glasses seemed to have just realized. Huamin added sympathetically, "So, you have to pick up at least 5 socks to make sure there's a pair." Jiang Shaowei looked at the man in glasses coldly. "Do you really have an IQ of 115? Did something go wrong?" "I can't, my school gave it to me. I also answered a lot of questions." The man in glasses looked wronged. "Okay, I'll give you one last chance. If you can't answer this question, you should leave. Don't waste my time. I can't stand men with low IQs." Then, Jiang Shaowei asked, "A robber caught a farmer. He said to the farmer, 'Do you think I'll kill you? If you guessed right, I'll let you go. If you guessed wrong, I'll kill you.' The farmer thought for a moment and answered, 'You'll kill me.' So, the robber let him go. The farmer saved his life. How did the farmer guess right?" After Jiang Shaowei asked this question, the man in glasses was once again dumbfounded. These questions were so weird, he had never heard of them before. Chapter 643. This is super easy. Do you need to think about it for a long time? Jiang Shaowei was going crazy. She was going to teach her old man a lesson when she got back. What the hell did he arrange for her? Even his IQ had to be fake. The man in glasses seemed to be thinking hard, but he couldn't come up with an answer. In the end, he had no choice but to take out his phone and put it under the table. Before he could check, Jiang Shaowei said, "Don't ask Baidu. This doesn't fit your status as a top student in the finance department of Beijing University." Her words made the bespectacled man's face flush red. He was suddenly at a loss and didn't know what to do. Then, he suddenly remembered that there was a woman with an IQ of 130 beside him. So, he looked at Huamin for help. Huamian slowly finished her ice cream and said, "This is actually a logical problem. First of all, there's something wrong with the robber's question. If the robber thinks that the farmer's answer is wrong, that you would kill me, then it proves that he didn't want to kill the farmer, and the farmer can't die. If the robber thinks that the farmer's answer is right, that you would kill me, then the robber has to fulfill his promise and let the farmer go. The farmer still can't die. This is a logical flaw. I see. The man in glasses suddenly understood. Okay, you can go now. Waiter, the bill. Jiang Xiaowei stood up. Can you give me another chance? I'm probably too nervous, so... The man in glasses anxiously explained. I don't have time to play mind games with you, goodbye. Then this lady, can you give me your contact information? We can be friends or something. The man in glasses saw that he had no chance with Jiang Xiaowei, so he turned his attention to Huamin. This time, it was Huamin's turn to be confused. What a weirdo, how dare you flirt with her? Aren't you afraid that her husband will beat your brains out? Jiang Xiaowei laughed. You're married? The man in glasses looked at Huamin in disappointment. Huamin nodded. That's a pity. The man in glasses picked up his bag and walked out of the restaurant dejectedly. Huamin got into Jiang Xiaowei's car and couldn't help laughing. Your blind date is too weird. That's considered normal. I've met that kind of science fanatic before. He's a chemistry fanatic and often makes explosions. Even when he eats with me, he brings all kinds of explosives. It's too scary. He even calls himself a lonely genius. It seems like it's quite difficult to find a partner these days. Huamin chuckled. That's right. That's why I'm so envious that you managed to win over your husband in high school. Since Jiang Xiaowei was right, Huamin smiled embarrassedly. At the entrance of the hospital, Jiang Xiaowei got out of the car to send Huamin back to the hospital. Aren't you going up to sit for a while? No, I have a hypnosis session with a patient in the afternoon. Oh right, I'm still paying attention to Ni Yang's condition. Call me the next time you have a session. Huamin nodded. Also, thank you for today. You can come with me. You treated me to a big meal too. Huamin chuckled. Jiang Xiaowei seemed to be in a good mood. She flashed her 2 little canine teeth. Then she smiled and said goodbye to Huamin. When they walked out, Wei Liao and Tang Chuan happened to be walking out of Southside as well. Apparently, Tang Chuan's girlfriend. Oh, no, his partner had too much fun with him last night. The girl's back and legs hurt and she was hospitalized. To comfort the girl, Tang Chuan personally sent over a check for 200,000 yuan to settle the matter. It's so damn expensive to pick up girls these days. A nurse costs 200,000 yuan. Wei Liao chuckled. Isn't that normal? Last time, didn't Lord Su buy a pink Lamborghini for a nurse that cost over 10 million yuan? Although she didn't want it in the end. Tang Chuan recalled the time when Su Yu chased after Huamin. How can that be the same? Your ass, Lord Su is in love with her? What's the difference? Their ultimate goal is the same. Lord Su still wants to sleep with her, doesn't he? The two of them went back and forth. Suddenly, Tang Chuan saw the beauty in front of him. She had long legs and was wearing a miniskirt. He immediately became playful. He yelled, "Hey beauty, your sanitary napkin fell off." Jiang Xiaowei didn't even turn her head. She calmly replied, "No, I'll give it to you for lunch." Wei Liao and Tang Chuan almost vomited blood. Chapter 644. Jiang Xiaowei didn't even look back. She threw out this sentence and walked away in a carefree manner. Then she got into a low-key Lexus. Wei Liao and Tang Chuan only saw the side of her face. She's a killer profile. Wei Liao felt it was a pity that he didn't get to see her face. She's a bourgeois who drives a Lexus. She's probably a long-legged beauty, but her words aren't pleasant to the ears. Tang Chuan was speechless when he thought about how he failed to tease her and was rebutted. You're blaming her for being unpleasant to the ears? Didn't you make fun of her when you teased her? Wei Liao laughed. Hurry up and take a picture of her license plate number. We'll investigate her in the traffic department. Tang Chuan suggested. Forget it, you haven't cleaned up your mess yet. You have to be careful when you're dating, Wei Liao kindly reminded him. It's just a matter of money. I don't lack money. The problem is, if you meet someone who doesn't care about money but lives, you'd be an idiot. If you don't marry her, she'll turn your world upside down, I don't think so. I can't be that unlucky. Tang Chuan was still hoping for a fluke. If you walk by the river, your shoes will eventually get wet. Wei Liao smiled and patted Tang Chuan on the shoulder. Huamin had never seen Jiang Shaowei go on a blind date like this. He wanted to laugh out loud. That guy in glasses was really stressed out. Actually, with Jiang Shaowei's personality, she could handle a small matter like this in minutes. As for why she insisted on coming to Southside to pick up Huamin, it was probably because it was too boring to eat alone. When Huamin came back in the afternoon, Director Li happened to be in the office. Huamin. Director Li. Huamin immediately stood up. How's N.I. Yang's case? Is there any progress? Department Director Li had just returned from studying abroad and seemed to be very interested in N.I. Yang's medical records. Yes, there's progress. N.I. Yang can now fall asleep normally, but the rest will take some time. After all, depression can't be cured immediately, Huamin explained. Well done. I heard that you used a very strange treatment. When Director Li came back, he also found that the hospital had changed a lot. Deputy Director Gua, who had been a parasite for many years, and his brother-in-law had quietly entered the hospital to eat boxed lunches. This is so satisfying. The young nurses at Southside would privately talk about how Huamin had saved the young nurse that day and secretly gave him a thumbs up. Director Li had also heard about it. He had also spoken to N.I. Yang when he came back, so he was very impressed with Huamin. I was just giving it a try. I didn't expect it to work so well. Here's a form for you to fill out. Director Li handed him a blank form. What's this? Huamin looked at the form and was a little confused. This is a survey form from our Psychiatry Research Center. You can fill it out however you want. Really? Huamin had a bad feeling about this. I'm already in my 50s, why would I lie to you? Director Li smiled kindly. Okay, I'll fill it out and send it to you in a bit. Director Li nodded. I learned a lot from my trip abroad. I'll organize the information and send it to your email. Remember to check it out when you're free, it'll be helpful. Huamin truly felt that Director Li liked him a lot. He was even willing to share such a private project with him. After Director Li left, Huamin continued to work. After making ward rounds, he returned to the on-call desk and gave some instructions to the young nurses. Then, he saw a young nurse walk over with a small bamboo basket. Head nurse. Hello, he said timidly. Chapter 645. Huamin turned around and saw the nurse he saved from Scumbag Chi the other day. Oh, it's you. Huamin smiled. Head nurse, you saved me last time, and I haven't thanked you yet. These are free-range eggs my dad brought from his hometown. They're very nutritious. It's our stupid chicken, I hope you don't mind. The nurse held up a small bamboo basket with both hands to show her sincerity. You don't have to be so polite. Huamin really didn't save her for her gratitude, so he didn't want her to accept it. What day and age are we living in? Why would the head nurse care about your eggs when she drives an Audi R8? Seriously? The nurses from the orthopedics department mocked her. The nurse's cheeks were slightly red as she held up the bamboo basket, feeling a little awkward. It was indeed a little embarrassing, but she really didn't have anything to give her. The head nurse drove $1 million luxury car, and as an intern nurse, her monthly salary wasn't even as expensive as the head nurse's car maintenance. So what else could she give her? After much consideration, she discussed it with her boyfriend and decided to give him some local specialties from her hometown. She was born in the countryside, so she called her father back home, and her father took a 10-hour-long train ride here. She brought 200 free-range eggs, kept 100 for herself, and planned to give the remaining 100 to Huamin to express her sincerity. However, she didn't expect to be mocked. After hearing these words, Huamin's face darkened. She gave me sincerity, and sincerity is priceless. There are many things in this world that can't be measured with money. Being responsible will make you lose the beauty of the world. The nurses pouted and didn't say anything. Huamin carefully took the bamboo basket and opened it to take a look. What beautiful eggs! Thank you, and thank your father for me. The nurse's eyes were slightly filled with surprise. Head nurse, if you like, I'll give you more in the future. Okay, after I finish eating, I'll come back to you. But next time, I'll have to pay you. I'll buy your free-range eggs for a long time, okay? Huamin smiled. No, no, no. If you like it, I'll give it to you for free. It'll always be free. The nurse was flattered. Okay. In order not to embarrass the young nurse, Huamin agreed to whatever she said with a smile. Then he saw the young nurse leave in a good mood. Respecting others was Huamin's most basic requirement for himself. Nothing would change because of his identity. After a busy afternoon, Huamin drove to the supermarket after work. She bought a lot of fresh watercolors and fruits because Mr. Qin was coming back today. After being busy for a few days, the matters in Tea City finally came to an end. She was going to cook a delicious meal for Mr. Qin, 4 dishes and a soup, stir-fried shredded pork with green beans, and steamed eggs with dried shrimps. The eggs were native eggs sent by the nurse, and even the egg yolks were golden. There was also braised carp, braised chicken feet, and beef radish soup. A fragrant aroma filled the air. Although their home in Imperial Park wasn't as luxurious and spacious as South Hill Manor, Huamin liked it very much. After everything was done, she put on an apron and combed her hair into a ponytail. She sat on the sofa and took out her phone. Mr. Qin, where are you? I'm still in Tea City. Huh? You're still there? Didn't you say you'd be back in the afternoon? Huamin was slightly disappointed. Something came up and I needed to take care of it. Oh, I thought you'd be back, so I prepared dinner for you. Okay. Huamin's voice message was filled with disappointment. She put away her phone and took a deep breath. She walked up to the dining table and was about to eat when she heard the sound of a key unlocking the door. Huamin didn't even have time to put on her shoes. She ran up barefoot and hugged Qinchu's waist. You bad guy, didn't you say you were in Tea City? Chapter 646. I'm just teasing you. Qinchu lovingly patted Huamin's head. I miss you so much. You're not leaving this time, right? Huamin felt extremely insecure. Yeah, it's all done. Qinchu let go of Huamin, took off his jacket, and went to the kitchen to wash his hands. What are we going to do? Did you find out who caused the accident? Huamin asked worriedly. The person in charge of the accident has fled overseas and can't be found. We can only take the blame personally. However, because I don't want to affect our company's reputation, I investigated the manufacturer who provided the raw materials and sued them in court. The legal team has already gone over there to go through the legal procedures. Huamin nodded, seemingly relieved. What about the compensation for the family members? Other than the compensation that we gave before, I added another 2 million yuan to each of them. The family members of the deceased will be compensated another 800,000 yuan. Our company will pay for this money first. After we win the lawsuit, we'll see if those unscrupulous and black-hearted manufacturers will compensate us. That's good. The dust has finally settled. Honey, you've been working hard these past few days. Huamin walked over and hugged Qinchu's neck coquettishly. She rubbed her chin against Qinchu's. Perhaps because she had been too busy, she looked a little haggard. Qinchu's chin had a faint stubble, which made Huamin feel a slight prickle. You're the one who's been working the hardest. You've been worried about me, and you even have to solve the company's crisis when I'm not around. Honey, it's so good to have you. Qinchu lowered his head and gently kissed Huamin's lips. It was a light kiss, but it was filled with love. Okay, let's stop being so sentimental. Let's eat. Okay. Then, the couple sat down to eat. Honey, do an exclusive interview with me tomorrow. What exclusive interview? Huamin was a little confused. I accepted an interview with Legend. I want to bring you with me tomorrow. Qinchu ate slowly and methodically. Huamian knew that this was an interview that was very influential in the country. The host was the most famous female host in the mainland, Jean Lan. The people she interviewed were all influential people, and they were all big shots in the financial world and superstars in the sports world. Are you saying that you want me to go on TV with you? The ratings were terrifying. Huamin was a little worried. I'm not asking you to go on TV with me. I want to announce our relationship to the world. After hearing Qin Chu's words, Huo was a little bit. She didn't seem to want to go on announce their relationship? Not going to keep their marriage secret? Seeing that Huomin didn't want to go on the record, Qin Chu put down his chopsticks and looked at her gently. Honey, we can't keep it a secret forever. I'm a public figure after all, and the whole company knows that you're my wife. The news has already spread, why don't we take the opportunity to go public? What are you worried about? On the way home, Qin Chu kept thinking about how he should announce their relationship on Legend tomorrow. No, he should announce their marriage. Even though the wedding hadn't been held yet, the fact that they were legally married still had to be announced. That way, Suyu wouldn't be able to get close to Huomin so easily, right? After all, getting close to a married man was a lot of pressure. Qin Chu's suggestion was selfish. Even though he won this time, he didn't want to underestimate Suyu. Chapter 647. I know. I just think that if we go public, I'll be labeled as Qin Chu's wife, and I won't be able to live a peaceful life in the future. Huomin knew that once the news got out, it would be an explosive piece of news that would set off a storm. It doesn't matter what the label is, the most important thing is that you're my wife, isn't that the truth? Qin Chu smiled. You're right. Huomin nodded, thinking that Qin Chu had a point. GK's 30-year anniversary party is in a few days. You can attend as my wife. Honey, you're used to keeping a low profile, it's okay for you to show up once in a while. After all, you have to make all the women who have designs on your husband give up. I think you just want to make all the women who have designs on me give up, right? Huomin was smart, of course. She knew what Qin Chu was thinking. You're absolutely right, honey. Qin Chu didn't try to hide it. Then, okay, if you want to go public, then go public. Huomin also thought that hiding their marriage wasn't a good idea. They couldn't keep it a secret for the rest of their lives. After all, marriage was between two people. After dinner, Qin Chu and Huomin held hands and took a walk in the courtyard of their neighborhood. This was the first time they showed up in such a high-profile manner in the neighborhood since their marriage. There were many rich people living in Imperial Park, so someone secretly took photos of them and sent them to the rich circle. Hey, isn't this a photo of Huomin? Let me see. Suyu immediately lost his composure. Don't look at it, it'll hurt your heart. Wei Liao looked at Suyu sympathetically. It's okay, I'm not that fragile. Then, Suyu violently grabbed Wei Liao's phone. The photo in the WeChat group was indeed Huomin, and the man beside her was Qin Chu. Huomin was wearing a set of yellow sportswear and had her hair tied up in a ponytail. She raised her head and looked at Qin Chu with her charming eyes and charming smile. Unfortunately, the beauty was not smiling for him. Qin Chu has been making a lot of moves recently. Wasn't he very low-key in the past? Now that you're swaggering out and being photographed, are you going to announce your relationship? Wei Liao's IQ wasn't low. After analyzing the situation, he felt that it was possible. Suyu looked at the photo silently without saying a word. Look, I told you not to look. Even if you look, you'll feel stifled. You just won't listen. Wei Liao snatched his phone back. If they want to announce it, then so be it. If the sky wants to rain and the mother wants to marry, they have their own freedom. After Suyu said this calmly, he picked up a glass of wine from the table and drank 3 glasses in a row. Wei Liao always mocked Suyu, but after all, they had been buddies for so many years. Seeing him like this made him very uncomfortable. Lord Su or else. Before he could finish, Suyu interrupted him. If you're trying to persuade me to give up, then don't say it. It's meaningless. You're too stubborn. There are plenty of other women in the world. Why do you have to make things difficult for yourself? With your influence, you can shake the entire country with just a flick of your finger. You can pick any woman you want. Wei Liao sighed softly. Humans are all monkeys, they're all cheap. There are too many women out there, and I only like Huomin. There's no saving you. I don't need saving, this is good. Although Suyu was in pain, he was very grateful for a woman like Huomin. Because Huomin's appearance seemed to be the turning point in his life. Even his way of life had completely changed. He didn't live a ridiculous life like before, he didn't hang out with actresses and drink with prostitutes. He suddenly had a goal in life, so he was happy and in pain. After Qin Chu and Huamin came back from a walk in the neighborhood, Huamin felt a little stuffy, so she went straight into the bathroom to take a shower. However, just as she took off her clothes, the door was suddenly pushed open. Huamin was so scared that her first reaction was to cover her private parts. "What are you doing?" "Doing? That's a good idea, I'll satisfy you." Then, Qin Chu smiled evilly and began to unbutton his shirt. Chapter 648. The pervert! Huamin screamed in fright. Wasn't it too exciting? They hadn't had sex in a few days, and now Mr. Qin was doing something so exciting as soon as he came back. Were they going to take a bath together? Qin Chu couldn't wait any longer, because he knew that Huamian's period was coming soon. So, he wanted to eat her up first and satisfy his cravings. Luckily, there was only one unit per floor on the top floor, so the soundproofing was very strong. Therefore, he didn't have to worry about the neighbors hearing Huamin's screams. The truth was, Huamin was shy, but she was more than happy to play along with Mr. Qin. People say that sex is only possible with love. When you love someone deeply, you will unconsciously want to possess them. Whether it was a man or a woman, there was no exception. Drenched in the rain, the warm water splashed onto the tiles, creating a thick mist. Their bodies were entwined together, creating a beautiful scene. Huamin felt that every time she kissed Qin Chu, her mind would go blank. She didn't have time to think about anything else. Everything followed his rhythm. To enjoy, to find the peak of happiness, Huamin was the shy type, so no matter how much pleasure she took, she would only bite her lips and whisper. She would never moan in bed. However, it was this restrained shyness that made Qin Chu even more captivated and addicted. He felt like he couldn't get enough of her. In the end, he was exhausted. The two of them lay on the wide bed and fell asleep in each other's arms. Tonight was another beautiful night ever. Since the incident in T-City, Huamin couldn't sleep well. Because she was always thinking about Qin Chu, it was hard for her to fall asleep alone. Now that Qin Chu was back and holding her in his arms, she greedily inhaled the unique scent of male hormones on his body. She felt so happy. The truth was, Huamin was an extremely insecure person. Many times, she felt like she didn't deserve to live such a happy life. Every time she slept next to Qin Chu, her worries would completely disappear. She was already in a deep sleep, however, she still held Qin Chu's hand tightly with one hand. Qin Chu's palms were sweating because Huamin's grip was too tight, but he still couldn't bear to let go. He knew that she didn't feel safe. Qin Chu quietly hugged his beloved wife and slowly fell asleep. The next day, Huamin drove straight to GK after work. Then, she got into Qin Chu's Maybach and went to the TV station. Her clothes and styling were all designed by GK's stylists. Not ostentatious, low-key luxurious, just now was the character of the two. "Hubby, do you want to rehearse?" "No need." "Then will I say something wrong?" Huamin had never been on such an important TV program before, so he seemed very nervous. Back when she was the top scholar in the middle school examination, she had never been so afraid when she was interviewed by the media. "Don't be afraid, I'm here." Qin Chu tightly held Huamin's hand and encouraged her. "Okay." Huamin nodded. Just then, the TV station staff walked into the VIP lounge. "President Qin, Lady Qin can start now." Qin Chu stood up, grabbed Huamin's hand, and slowly walked towards the studio. In order to make the show more effective, there were a few hundred people in the studio. Huamin and Qin Chu both wore casual suits. Qin Chu wore black, and Huamin wore white. They were both luxurious Italian custom-made, simple and elegant. Huamin also wore her hair up, which was rare for her, and looked smart and capable. She wore light Korean-style nude makeup, and at a glance, she was definitely very good-looking. When she stood next to Qin Chu, she didn't lose to him at all, and they actually looked very compatible. Next, let us give our warmest applause to today's guests, GK Corporation CEO, Mr. Qin Chu, and his wife, Huamin. Then, thunderous applause followed. Qin Chu held Qin Chu's hand and walked into the studio. Into the audience's line of sight, The legend aired every Sunday at noon, and because of the prime time slot, the ratings were very high. It was broadcasted live nationwide. President's office at Imperial Star, President's office at Huo Corporation. It was broadcasted live on a 60-inch LCD TV. Huamin's appearance stunned XX and XX. President Su, lunch is ready. Wait. Su Yu waved his hand and sent his secretary away. Then he stared at the TV screen. Chapter 649. Nice to meet you, President Qin and Mrs. Qin. The host, Jean Lan, smiled elegantly and walked up to shake their hands. Nice to meet you, Sister Jean Lan. Huamin was very humble because Jean Lan was in her 40s and was a capable middle-aged woman. Don't be nervous, please sit down. Jean Lan waved her hand, and the three of them sat down on the long chairs that were prepared for them. I heard that you two are very low-key and rarely show yourselves, right? Jean Lan asked with a smile. Huamin looked at Qin Chu, and Qin Chu gestured for her to answer. She smiled and replied, Thanks, we don't like to expose ourselves too much, it disrupts our lives. Jean Lan, yes, the public doesn't know that President Qin is married, you guys are very good at keeping secrets. When did you guys get your marriage certificate? I'm curious. Huamin, about 4 months ago, almost 5 months ago. Jean Lan, how did he propose to you back then? Huamin, he didn't propose, we got our marriage certificate right away because we were close, we were high school classmates after all. Jean Lan, speaking of which, I have to ask President Qin, I heard that you studied abroad in the States for 7 years. During that time, you guys didn't contact each other, and you got your marriage certificate right after you came back. I don't understand what you did, so I'll ask you on behalf of everyone, how did you plan this? Qin Chu was silent for a few seconds, and then he replied, It's simple, when I first saw Huamin many years ago, I already knew that she was going to be my wife. So, regardless of whether we contacted each other or not, marrying her was something that I had to do for the rest of my life. Then, thunderous applause sounded from the audience. Qin Chu's answer was extremely firm, showing them the sincerity of his love. Jean Lan, wow. I didn't know that President Qin was such a devoted person. Do you guys fight often? Huamin, almost never, we have a tacit understanding. Jean Lan, then, if you two disagree on something, who should you listen to? Qin Chu, my wife's words are the standard. The audience gasped in surprise. He didn't expect the Emperor of GK to love his wife so much. Qin Chu and Huamin went on the show to tell the world that they were married. Then, they would expose some of their daily love affairs. It was simply the rhythm of torturing single dogs to death. Su Yu stared at the screen. He only looked at Huamin. Her every frown and smile seemed to have an extraordinary charm. He couldn't look away. On the other hand, Huasiqian laughed nonchalantly. That sister of mine is finally showing off her love in public. It seems like someone is going to declare their territorial sovereignty. Qin family mansion, who allowed our son to be interviewed? Are you going to do something about it or not? Lady Qin was furious. He even called the TV station to find fault with them, indicating that he wanted to cut off the live broadcast. However, they ignored her. In the end, she vented her frustrations on Qin Yumin. Our son is all grown up and can make his own decisions. We shouldn't cause trouble for him. At our age, we're enjoying our old age. Don't be so calculative. Qin Yumin calmly watched the TV. At our age, Huamin, that little vixen, only knows how to seduce Chu and stir up trouble. Now, she's encouraging our son to go on the live broadcast and announce their relationship. Great, now the whole world knows that she's the daughter-in-law of the Qin family. How am I supposed to explain this to those rich wives? I've been telling them that my son is single, and I even asked them to keep an eye out for potential daughters-in-law. Isn't this slapping me in the face? No wonder Lady Qin was so angry. It was because she was slapped in the face. That's your own fault. Qin Yumin didn't help his wife this time. Ever since Huamin came to eat last time, he had silently acknowledged Huamin's existence. He even took advantage of the fact that he was still in good health to hold his grandchild and enjoy the joy of family life. Lady Qin, on the other hand, couldn't let go of Huamin and viewed her as a thorn in her side. No, I have to think of a way to deal with her. I can't let that little vixen stir up trouble in the Qin family. Then, Lady Qin got up and went upstairs. GK headquarters, all of the employees were watching the president's live broadcast during their lunch break, and they were all excited. A young lady is so elegant, I like her so much, many female employees praised. Jiang Linyue's expression was grim. Director Jiang, what do you think? Someone who didn't know what was going on asked Jiang Linyue for her opinion. Chapter 650. I don't think a young lady is that special. I heard that she was born a commoner and graduated from a third-rate university. She's just an ordinary head nurse. She's not pretty, and her body isn't hot either. I don't know what President Qin sees in her, but the only reason she's able to drive a $1 million luxury car is because of President Qin. But in my opinion, being able to marry into a rich family only proves that she's very scheming, very scheming. I don't think a woman who tried everything to marry into a rich family in high school is very pure, Jiang Linyue commented as she sipped on her iced coffee. Her words were extremely sharp, and the employees around her didn't dare to say anything. If they spoke up for Jiang Linyue, they would offend a young lady. If they spoke up for a young lady, it wouldn't do them any good to offend Jiang Linyue. After all, she wasn't someone to be trifled with. After dinner, everyone went their separate ways. Jiang Linyue was filled with anger, so she didn't eat much. She didn't expect them to announce their relationship so soon. However, announcing their relationship had its benefits. This way, Huamin would be at the center of attention, right? Jiang Linyue was right. That night, a local forum exposed some news about Huamin's background. The title was, GK's a young lady, the most scheming bitch in the world. Then, it listed Huamin's 10 sins with a lot of black dots. First, she had a boyfriend before, but in order to marry into a rich family, she dumped her innocent college boyfriend. Second, in order to marry into a rich family, she instigated Qin Chu to move out of the Qin family and maintain a stalemate with Lady Qin. Third, her mother used to be a mistress. If the upper beam isn't straight, the lower beam will be crooked. Fourth, she always acted like she didn't care about money, but because she hooked up with Qin Chu, she lived in a mansion and drove a $1 million luxury car. Fifth, she used GK's name to buy her brother a sports car. Sixth, she had a close relationship with superstar Ni Yang. Apparently, Ni Yang betrayed his manager and Imperial Star Entertainment for her. Seventh, in order to clear her name, she continuously defamed her ex-boyfriend, causing Ning Ziyuan to almost be fired by the hospital. Eighth, he once acted like a pretentious prick. He didn't have a doctor's certificate, but he performed a C-section on a pregnant woman and caused her bodily harm. Number 9. Once, when he was drinking at the seductive Fox nightclub, he got into an argument with someone and was suppressed by the Qin family. Number 10. A while ago, he was sent to the police station for assaulting someone. He framed the deputy director of Southside just to get promoted. In conclusion, Huamin was truly a scheming bitch. Once the news came out, it caused a huge commotion. The comments from the netizens were overwhelming. Most of them were scolding Huamin. That was how the internet worked. Many people did not know the truth, so they started scolding him. When the news exploded, Suyu was eating hot pot with Wei Liao and the others. Wei Liao swiped his phone and said, Huamin is in trouble now. Maybe he was too high profile and attracted hate. What's going on? Suyu raised his head. As long as there was news about Huamin, he couldn't help but ask, take a look for yourself. Wei Liao handed him his phone. After Suyu read it, his face immediately darkened. Find out the IP address of the person who leaked the news. I think he's tired of living. Lord Su calmed down. Her husband isn't worried, why are you? Plus, you're not in a position to clear his name. You should just wait and see. I can't do that either. This isn't the truth. Suyu had investigated Huamin thoroughly, so he knew the truth better than anyone else. What if Huamin was really a scheming bitch? How could he not see through her? Lord Su, this is normal. There are a lot of poor people these days, and most of them hate the rich. They can't stand to see others doing well. It's reasonable for them to slander Huamin like this. But with Huamin's current status and identity, he's not someone who can be shaken by a few dirty tricks. Don't worry, Tang Chuan advised. When Huamin saw the news, she was having dinner with Qin Chu at a Korean restaurant. She picked up her phone and glanced at it. Then she smiled and said, "Who wrote this? It seems like they know me very well. When I decided to go public, I knew something like this would happen. In the future, things like this will happen more and more. Honey, are you scared?" Qin Chu looked up and stared into Huamin's eyes as he asked, word for word. Chapter 651. If I was scared, I wouldn't be Qin Chu's wife. Was she scared? Of course she wasn't. She was the fearless Huamin who would get through anything. Although gossip was scary, she had to be willing to listen to it. Why should she listen to those people who purposely slandered her and twisted the truth? She would just treat them as bullshit. Huamin's words touched Qin Chu slightly. He knew that his wife had always been a resilient little blade of grass, growing against the wind. GK's public relations company wasn't an idiot. When something happened, they immediately defended the company and the Qin clan's interests. They even hired a bunch of ghostwriters to go against those who purposely slandered her online. That night, Qin Chu was working in his study. Huamin was lying on the sofa, playing with her phone and eating snacks. Then, she accidentally logged onto Weibo, which she hadn't been on for a long time. Her fans went from a few hundred to 600,000 overnight. Her most recent comment was also flooded by her fans. There were more than 20,000 retweets and more than 10,000 comments. One of the top comments said, "Huamin, I like you a lot. Although I didn't know you well before, I know that it wasn't easy for you to walk beside Qin Chu and become his wife. You fulfilled the legend of our Cinderella marrying a prince. Don't care what others say, I'll always support you." This comment also received more than 500 likes. Some of the comments were even harsher. Then, Huamin's fans fought with those anti-fans. It was a lively scene. "Huamin, you scheming bitch, give me back my husband. You little bitch, why did you steal my Qin Chu? Huamin, what right do you have to be by his side? You don't deserve it. I hope you guys get a divorce soon." All in all, the comments online were extremely vicious. If Huamin's heart was made of glass, it would probably be broken into pieces by now, but she wasn't. Although she was only 24 years old, she had seen a lot and was very calm. Faced with the overwhelming pressure of public opinion, Huamin was not in a hurry to explain, nor was he angry. She just casually wrote a Weibo post. "The past is thick, the color is clear, and the past is light. After years of sorrow and joy, it is as clear as a mirror." Then there was a picture of a lotus below. This sentence was extremely thought-provoking. Those who didn't have any ink would probably not be able to understand it. After this Weibo post was posted, it immediately caused another stir. Pretentious fool. She clearly graduated from a third-rate university, yet she wants to pretend to be a goddess. Disgusting. Huamin, can you be more shameless? Please let go of Qin Chu and go back to your Dr. ex-boyfriend. Huamin, you can do it. I support you. That's a very zen sentence. Die-hard fans from elementary school wouldn't understand it. A young lady from GK is very meaningful. I support Qin Chu and Huamin together. No matter what, Huamin is still a member of the Hua family. You're all little bitches who hate the rich. Huamin, why don't you post a picture? I saw you on TV. You're so pretty and elegant. Also, where did you buy your clothes? Please link to them. Are you retarded? His clothes are custom-made by a luxury Italian brand. It's the same style as President Qin's. Do you think it's from some store? Please link to them. Your IQ is really low. Please link to the background music for Huamin and Qin Chu's live stream today. Thank you so much. The fans once again started a war of words. Some were true fans of Huamin, while others were anti-fans of Huamin. Many media outlets also reported in real time, a young lady from GK Updates Weibo seems to be low-key response to scandal. Huamin was just about to exit Weibo when he received a private message from Su Yu. Are you okay? Su Yu's timely greeting warmed Huamin's heart. Chapter 652. Sometimes, a lot of people cared about how high you flew, but very few cared about how tired you were. Su asked, "Are you okay?" Huamin was very grateful. "I'm fine. Don't worry about that, you can withstand as much slander as praise." Su actually knew how to use chicken soup for the soul. Huamin smiled. "Don't worry, I'm in a good mood. I knew something like this would happen when we exposed ourselves." Qin Chu was a bit brainless this time. "Isn't it good to keep your marriage a secret? Why did he have to go public? Isn't he trying to attract hate for you?" You didn't understand Qin Chu's actions this time. Did he love Huamin or hurt Huamin? If he wanted to protect her, he had to keep a low profile. Why did he have to go live? "It's good to go public, sooner or later I won't be able to hide it. I walked the red carpet at GK Film and Television's opening ceremony, and a lot of media outlets are already digging into it. Rather than letting others expose me, I might as well admit it myself. Okay, if you need anything, remember to call me." "Thank you." Then, the two fell silent. After Huamin copied the post, she posted it on her WeChat friend circle. Zhu Lingling immediately liked it. "I'll always support you, my beautiful girl." The Qin clan couple has been torturing single people for 30 years. They specialize in torturing single people like us. Gao Ran continued to tease her. "Sis, I support you, hang in there," Zhixin commented. "Senior sister, you can do it, you're the best, moi." "Head nurse, you can do it. Head nurse, we love you. Head nurse, you're the best in the universe." The following were comments from the nurses at Southside. Just then, another comment appeared. "Sister Mian, remember one thing. No matter how you live your life, we only have one goal. Don't go against your heart and don't regret it. Also, go fuck yourself and go fuck yourself. Do whatever you want." This was Ni Yang's comment. This was the first time the gloomy superstar had cursed. Luckily, only Huamin could see it. "I'm fine. Don't worry. Your big sister Huamin is an unkillable cockroach," Huamin replied. After Qin Chu finished his work in the study, he received a phone call. "President Qin, we found that person's IP address. It's in a dilapidated residential area in the north. But when our people arrived, that person had already run away. It seems that he came prepared. Continue to check her IP address. If you can't find it, check the online accounts of those paid posters." Then, Qin Chu made a few more calls to influential media outlets. The media started to publish articles that cleared Huamin's name, but at this time, another incident pushed the matter to a climax. Lady Qin was interviewed by a small newspaper. Then, she made it clear that Huamin wasn't her ideal daughter-in-law and that she didn't think highly of their marriage. She also said that her son might have been confused and wouldn't admit that Huamin was part of the Qin family. Like a stone that stirred up 1,000 ripples, Lady Qin's words had a lot of lethality. After all, she was someone with a high status. After Qin Chu finished reading the interview, his face turned green. He immediately called his mother's phone, but it was turned off. Then he called her home. The nanny picked up. "Young master, where's my mom? Put her on the phone." "She's not here. She went out and hasn't come back yet." "What about my dad?" "Master is upstairs. Put my dad on the phone." Qin Chu suppressed his anger. His mother adding to the mess at a time like this made him completely furious. He couldn't tolerate Huamin being wronged even a little bit. "Dad, what's the situation with my mom?" "She's probably very upset because you announced your marriage. She keeps saying that she was slapped in the face and that she didn't know how to explain it to those rich people." "Where's she?" "She went out and hasn't come back yet." "Okay, I got it." After speaking, Qin Chu hung up the phone. Wei Liao and the others quickly saw the interview and said, "Lady Qin is slapping her son in the face. She really hit him hard this time. Huamin is in trouble now." His mother-in-law publicly refused to acknowledge him, causing Huamin's status in the Qin family to plummet. "Lord Su, what do you think about this?" Wei Liao looked at Su Yu. Chapter 653. "I'm not Yuan Fong, don't ask me what I think," Su Yu teased as he played with his phone. Huamin's road to becoming rich is full of twists and turns. I don't think her mother-in-law is easy to deal with. She's not as nice as your auntie. Of course, my mom said that as long as I have a grandson, she doesn't care where I go. She doesn't care if I'm with a man or not. Your auntie is so open-minded. Although the Qin family has a big business, it's still not as big as the Su family. After all, your grandfather is the head of the military, but even so, your family is really lax. My family is stricter than yours. I'm jealous. Wei Liao was telling the truth. The Su family's way of educating their children was free-range. There was only one Su Yu in this generation, so they spoiled him even more. No matter how unreliable he was, the Su family wouldn't step in to stop him. Of course, Lord Su said that Su Yu could play around, but he would never allow him to do anything outrageous. So, other than the fact that Lord Su loved to burn money and chase girls, he had a good reputation. When Lady Qin slapped Qin Chu and Huamin's secret marriage, the news spread like wildfire. When Qin Chu returned to the bedroom, Huamin was already lying on the bed, playing games on her phone. She didn't seem to be affected by the news. Honey, yeah? Did you see the news? Which one? Huamin asked nonchalantly as she played her game. The interview my mom just did, Qin Chu said, suppressing his anger. Oh, I saw it. Huamin was very calm. Lady Qin didn't like her for a day or two. It would be scary if she said how much she liked her in an interview. Her direct dislike of her made Huamin feel a lot better. You're not mad? Qin Chu asked tentatively. Why would I be mad? It's not like it's the first time your mom is like this. Huamin smiled. I'm sorry. I didn't think she'd be so naughty. She's already so old. Qin Chu walked over and picked Huamin up from the bed. Huamin threw her phone onto the bed and hugged Qin Chu's neck coquettishly. So, how are you going to make it up to me? We did it twice today. Does that count as compensation? Qin Chu's lips curled up as he looked at her gently. Huamin. Before Huamin's words, Huamin. Well, of course. Yes, I'm Huamin's Huo, Tut, and Min. Young master, you're back. Is my mom back? Qin Chu asked faintly. She just came back. She's upstairs. Okay. Qin Chu went upstairs and pushed open the bedroom door. Lady Qin was proudly talking to her husband about something. She was surprised to see her son. Chu, why didn't you tell me you were coming so late? Mom? What do you want? Qin Chu frowned slightly and spoke in a harsh tone. I didn't do anything. What's wrong with me? Lady Qin said nonchalantly as she took off her scarf. It's a fact that I married Huamin. It's also a fact that I hate her. What's wrong with that? Just because you like her, does that mean the whole world likes her? Lady Qin suddenly raised her voice and yelled. Qin Chu looked at his mother with a slightly disappointed expression after hearing what she said. Chapter 654. I thought you were just angry at me for hiding the truth from you. No matter how bad Huamin is, she's still part of our family. I can't believe you teamed up with an outsider to expose our dirty laundry. It's fine if you don't care about our reputation, but you also don't care about the company's reputation. That's quite a ruthless move. I didn't want to disregard the company's reputation. If you were thinking about the company, you shouldn't have married Huamin. Don't lecture me. Although I don't know anything about managing a company, I still understand the principles. Lady Qin couldn't stand her son defending Huamin. Therefore she was also angry. Every time her son said something, she would refute it. Fine, if you say that, then I have nothing else to say. Before you think things through, I don't think we'll be coming back to this house. After Qin Chu spoke, he turned around and left. Hey, stop right there. No matter how much Lady Qin yelled, Qin Chu refused to stop. Young master, I made some sweet soup, the maid said weakly as she stood guard by the stairs. I'm not eating. After saying this, Qin Chu coldly left the house. He basically said that he wouldn't come back until he forgave them. Say something, are you mute? Look at your spoiled son. Lady Qin vented her anger on her husband. Qin Yumin was reading a history book. He was wearing reading glasses and seemed a lot calmer. I'm not the only one who spoiled my son. Plus, I don't think he did anything wrong. He managed the company very well and handled the accident in T-City very well. I'm very satisfied. What's the point of that? A successful career doesn't mean everything. Look at what kind of woman your good son chose, huh? Open your eyes wide and take a good look. Lady Qin roared. Qin Yumin took off his reading glasses and looked at his wife. What's wrong with Huamin? Other than the fact that she didn't come from a good family and didn't go to a good university, what's wrong with her? She's not good at all. She doesn't look good and she has a bad temper. You don't know how rude she is to me. You respect me and I'll respect you. You treated her like that, and she's treating you nicely. Do you think she's a fool? Qin Yumin retorted. But you're all against me, aren't you? I really can't live anymore. Sister Lan, Lady Qin shouted. Madam, clean up the guest room, I'm going to sleep in the guest room. Lady Qin walked out as she spoke. This? The maid looked at Qin Yumin awkwardly. Let her be. Qin Yumin was used to his wife throwing tantrums. He had tolerated her bad temper all these years, but now that she was older, she was getting more and more out of hand. Not only did he meddle in the affairs of the younger generation, he even slapped his own son's face. He was getting more and more overboard. Lady Qin's revelations did add a lot of dirt on Huamin. Zhu Lingling and Jixin both sent Huamin a WeChat message and asked about it. However, Huamin was very calm and said that it was nothing. The next morning, Huamin went to work as usual. The employees at Southside seemed to be used to this, and they all knew Huamin's personality. Only a few gossipy people would talk about it in private. No one else would talk about this matter anymore. At noon, things took a turn for the worse. The reason was that Hu Zhenghai personally confirmed Huamin's identity. He even said that he and Huamin's mother were in love and that she wasn't a mistress. He also said that they broke up peacefully because of differences in their personalities, and that Huamin had always been the daughter of the Hua family. As for Lady Qin's disagreement, Hu Zhenghai replied, "We don't ask about young people's views on love. As long as my daughter likes it, that's her freedom. Everyone thinks that their children are good for themselves. Lady Qin thinks that my daughter isn't good enough for Qin Chu, but I also think that Qin Chu isn't good enough for my daughter." These words were like a slap to Lady Qin's face. As soon as the words came out, they were reposted by all the major media outlets. Chapter 655. Who would have thought that Hu Zhenghai, as a father, would speak up for Huamin one day? However, Huamin wasn't happy at all. She knew that Hu Zhenghai would never do anything that would make him lose money. He must have a motive for helping her. As expected, her mother called at noon and told her to go home for lunch. Huamin looked at the time. If she drove fast, she should be able to make it back in time for her 2-hour lunch break. So, she drove back to the old house. Her mother had prepared a table full of food, and Hu Zhenghai was there as well. The truth was, Yang Merong didn't like Hu Zhenghai, but because he spoke up for her daughter today, she treated him nicely, which was rare of her. "Me on your back." Hu Zhenghai stood up and smiled. Huamin nodded. "Here, eat before it gets cold." Yang Merong scooped a bowl of rice for Huamin. "Don't suffer alone in the future, tell me. The Hua family is a respectable family. We won't let Lady Qin humiliate us like that," Hu Zhenghai said hypocritically. While her mother was scooping soup, Huamin quietly asked, "What do you want now?" "I want to help you." "So what do you want me to say for you?" "Just say it, I don't like to beat around the bush," Huamin said coldly. "Ahem." Hu Zhenghai coughed awkwardly. Huamin was indeed meticulous. He could always see through his motives. "Here's the thing, your sister..." "She's not my sister," Huamin corrected him. "Anyway, Yan was rude to you last time. It was wrong of her. I taught her a lesson, so she really knows what she did was wrong. You're a bit older than her, so you should be more tolerant. After all, we're family," Hu Zhenghai said earnestly. "Mr. Hua, please get to the point," Huamin said as he ate with his head down. "I heard from Xichen that you and Suyu are friends, so I was wondering if you could introduce Yan to Suyu." "You're really daring, aren't you?" Huamin raised his head and sneered. "The Suyu family is a century-old aristocratic family. Anyone would want to marry into such a family. Although Yan is absurd, She has a pure personality. If she can gain Su Yu's favor, she can help you in the future, right? You want me to introduce that idiot Hui Yanyan to Su Yu? Huamin asked again. Before Hu Zhenghai could say anything, Huamin continued, aren't you afraid that she'll die a horrible death? Su Yu will skin her alive in less than 3 days. It's not that serious, is it? Hu Zhenghai was a bit embarrassed. He felt like Huamin was just trying to scare him. You didn't even do your homework before coming to me. You're really something. First of all, Su Yu and I aren't friends. My words won't work because he won't listen to me. Second of all, Su Yu doesn't like idiots and idiots. Hui Yanyan fits all of those. Third of all, Su Yu doesn't like women who have messy personal lives. You probably didn't investigate carefully who your precious daughter has been hanging out with. However, just because you don't know doesn't mean that Su Yu doesn't know. So, if you ask me to do something like this and piss off Su Yu, aren't you afraid that he'll take his anger out on the whole corporation? Oh, is that so? Hu Zhenghai only cared about the interests of the company and didn't really care what his daughter was up to. However, Huamin knew, because her affairs were often exposed in the entertainment news. She often went to nightclubs, wore heavy makeup, and hugged different men. If Su Yu liked someone like that, then not only was Su Yu blind, but the entire Su family was blind. I'm grateful that you helped me, but I'm sorry I can't help you with this. Huamin directly refused. What kind of joke was this? If she introduced Hui Yanyan to Su Yu, with Su Yu's explosive temper, not only would he chop Hui Yanyan into pieces, but he would also chop her into pieces, right? Then, how about this, when you have time, bring Qin Chu out and have some tea with me. I'll talk to him about working together. Seeing that his plan didn't work out, Hu Zhenghai was unwilling to give up, so he proposed a second condition. Huamin almost spat out the soup she was drinking. She really felt disgusted by Hu Zhenghai. There was probably no man in the world who was more materialistic than him. She really didn't know how her mother fell in love with someone like him. What do you think? That shouldn't be hard, right? Hu Zhenghai glanced at Huamin and asked. Chapter 656. I'll find a time to arrange it, but let me say this first. I'm only responsible for arranging for you guys to meet. As for whether or not my husband agrees to work with you, that's your business. Of course. Hu Zhenghai was obviously satisfied. Also, don't get involved in my business without my permission, Huamin said coldly. Just as Hu Zhenghai was about to say something, he saw Yang Mirong walk out with a bowl of soup. Drink it while it's hot. Okay. Huamin nodded. What were you guys talking about? Yang Mirong asked. We were talking about Mion's childhood. The truth is, I'm not good enough as a father. With Mion's talent, she should have gone to a famous university. Then, she wouldn't be looked down upon by Lady Qin and the Qin family, and she wouldn't be criticized by others. Hu Zhenghai was naturally good with words. He pretended to feel guilty because he wanted to move Yang Mirong. Yang Mirong was indeed stupid. She believed Hu Zhenghai's little tricks. Huamin sighed inwardly. He finally understood why his mother lost to Xinjiani back then. His mother's scheming couldn't even compare to Xinjiani's, but it was good. If it was his mother who married into the Hua family, she would have been bullied to death by Jiang Hong. The Hua family wasn't a place for humans. Those who could survive were all wolves, tigers, and leopards. So what if our Mion didn't go to a famous university? She was born smart, so she can still do better than others. The first hospital had so many professors and doctors from famous universities. Why did they have to invite my daughter to perform surgery on the director's niece in the middle of the night? Isn't it because they valued my daughter's skills? She's now famous at Southside Recuperation Center. I don't think there's anything wrong with her. Those who twist the truth should go to hell. God will deal with those bitches. Yang Mirong naturally sided with Huamin. She rambled on, but Hu Zhenghai only smiled and didn't say anything. Mom, I'm fine. Don't worry and don't care about what other people say. If reporters come, just lock yourself in and don't come out. They won't dare to come in. If anyone crosses the line, call the police or go visit Auntie Wu during the day. Huamin knew that now that he had made his relationship public, his family would definitely be harassed. I know. I'm fine. Take care of yourself, Yang Meirong said. As he was leaving home, Huamin suddenly remembered that his mother had mentioned Wu Xiaoxue. He had not contacted Wu Xiaoxue for a few days. He wondered if Wu Xiaoxue had finished her confinement. He planned to visit her after work. After a busy afternoon at Southside, Huamin called Wu Xiaoxue. Then, he bought a lot of baby products and drove to Wu Xiaoxue's house. On the way there, she happened to see a reporter blocking Ni Yang's way for an interview. GK has been in a lot of trouble lately. Do you regret signing with them? No, GK is doing great, Ni Yang replied casually. What do you think about GK's a young lady coming from a poor family and having a low education? The reporter asked. I think they're a good match. So what if they don't come from a good family? Mao Zedong was a cowherd back then, and Zhu Yuanzhang was a beggar back then. Liu Bang was a street thug. You can't judge a person by their background, but by their ability, okay? I hate people like you who talk about their backgrounds. I support President Qin and a young lady to the end. I'm their fan. Ni Yang's influence was huge because he had too many fans. Therefore, as soon as the interview was released, a large number of Ni Yang's fans immediately went to Huamin's Weibo to show their support. It was a one-sided pressure from public opinion. Therefore, Lady Qin's words seemed insignificant at a time like this. No matter what she said, people would start calling her an evil mother-in-law. Huamin smiled. This kid was brave enough to take a stand. The other artists under GK all remained neutral, afraid of getting into trouble. Ni Yang, on the other hand, directly blew himself up. Just then Ni Yang called, "Hello. Sister Huamin, did you see my interview?" His voice was as excited as a child's. Chapter 657. I did. What did I say? You did great. Huamin complimented. Pa, I wonder if I'll help you. Of course, your fans have flooded my Weibo and the haters, Huamin said as he drove with his headphones on. That's good. All right, when I have time in a few days, I'll go to the hospital to see you. I think I've slept a lot better. We can move on to the next plan. Anchem, don't worry, I'll always remember what happened to you. After hanging up with Ni Yang, Huamin arrived at Wu Xiaoxue's neighborhood. She parked her car at the entrance of the neighborhood and went upstairs. Huamin pressed the doorbell, and a middle-aged auntie opened the door. Hello, I'm here to see Wu Xiaoxue. Okay, come in. The auntie opened the door and let Huamin in. She's in there, the auntie said as she pointed at the master bedroom. Huamin walked straight in with his bags. Xiaoxue? Huamin, you're here? Wu Xiaoxue was breastfeeding her baby, and she was sitting on the bed with the baby in her arms. You're breastfeeding? Huamin was a little surprised because very few people breastfed nowadays, especially rich people like him. Most of them used powdered milk or hired a nanny. Breastfeeding is the best food for a baby. Wu Xiaoxue smiled. Her smile was filled with the radiance of motherly love. She had gained a lot of weight, and her face was a lot rounder. However, her complexion didn't look too good, probably because she stayed up late. This is a gift for the baby. Huamin handed over the baby's clothes, shoes, and toys that he bought. Thank you. How long until you're out of confinement? Huamin asked as he sat on the chair beside the bed and played with the baby. 5 more days. That's fast. Yes, it's so fast. My baby will be 1 month old in 5 days. Wu Xiaoxue looked at the baby girl in her arms lovingly. Huamin looked at the baby carefully and found that her skin was white and chubby, but her eyebrows were very similar to Ning Ziyuan's. She didn't seem like Wu Xiaoxue at all. Has the baby been named yet? Huamin asked. Yes, I did. My uncle named her Wu Xinyue. Xinyue? Not bad, not bad. It's a nice name. President Wu is really good at naming names. But she's really going to be surnamed Wu. Are you really going to divorce Ning Ziyuan? At the mention of this, Wu Xiaoxue's eyes changed slightly. Yes, he agreed. What about the child? Does he not want it? Even if he wants it, I won't give it to him. Besides, he doesn't plan to take it. Wu Xiaoxue smiled bitterly. It's okay. You're so outstanding. You'll meet better people in the future. That's what I thought too. After feeding her, Wu Xiaoxue handed the baby to Huamian. Hold her. If you hadn't risked your life to do the surgery on me, she would have turned into a pool of blood. You saved her life. It's not that serious. I can only say that Xinyue is lucky to be your mother. Huamin had worked in the OB/GYN department before, so she was very good at holding babies. After carefully taking Xinyue in her arms, she coaxed her. What about you? Any news? Wu Xiaoxue asked. Not yet. Maybe it's not time yet. Huamin looked up and smiled. What about you? Are you leaving after your confinement? Yes. We've already signed the divorce agreement. After I'm done with my confinement, I'll go to the Civil Affairs Bureau and get it done. The plane ticket is in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, I'll be leaving this place for good. Chicago is where I'll live in the future. Wu Xiaoxue's words were full of reluctance. It's okay. I can go to the States to visit you guys. You guys can come back to visit me. Huamin hugged Xinyue and said, Baby, grow up quickly. You'll be able to protect mommy. Wu Xiaoxue's eyes suddenly teared up. Huamin, I don't want to leave, but I have no choice. My heart is full of holes. Xiaoxue, don't cry. Be strong. Huamin felt bad when he saw Wu Xiaoxue cry. From the time she was pregnant to the birth of the child, she had never been at peace. Huamin, do you know who was behind my car accident? Wu Xiaoxue suddenly asked with hatred. Wasn't it an accident? Huamin was slightly surprised. Chapter 658. Of course not. He-Man is the one behind all this. He-Man? If Wu Xiaoxue hadn't mentioned her, Huamin would have almost forgotten about her existence. That evil woman doesn't like me. Maybe she thinks that Ning Ziyuan dumped her because of me, but she's just stupid. I can tell you that even without me, Ning Ziyuan still wouldn't want her. She's a piece of trash, no one would like her. Xiaoxue, you're still in confinement. Calm down and speak slowly. I've already asked someone to investigate. I had my suspicions before, so I deleted the video. You should know the person who hit me and fled. I know him. Huamin was even more surprised. Wu Xiaoxue nodded. Do you remember the pregnant woman who blackmailed you? Yeah, her husband. I don't know how that man hooked up with He-Man, but they were together for a while. During that time, they set me up while I was driving and almost killed my baby. I found that man, but he had already left He-Man. Because He-Man hooked up with Ning Ziyuan again, she dumped him. He didn't want to give up and pestered her. In the end, He-Man hired thugs to break one of his legs. Really? Huamin frowned slightly. If what Wu Xiaoxue said was true, then He-Man was really evil. Yeah, so before I go abroad, I'll definitely take revenge on her. Xiaoxue, don't be silly. You're going abroad. Don't get into trouble. Huamin comforted her. Don't worry, I won't kill her. Her cheap life isn't worth dirtying my hands with. I'll just tell her that evil people get what they deserve. Huamin stayed at Wu Xiaoxue's house for a while. She didn't eat the food that the nanny made. It was Wu Xiaoxue's confinement meal, so it was relatively bland. Before she left, Wu Xiaoxue took out a rectangular box and handed it to her. What is this? I'm about to leave, so I'll give this to you. It's a set of scalpels that I really like. I bought them from Germany, and they're of great quality. I've used them to perform a C-section on a lot of pregnant women who had difficult labor. You're such a great doctor, so I hope you can use them to save more people in the future. Of course, if you're an OB/GYN doctor, and if you don't choose to continue working in the OB/GYN department, I'll give this to you as a memento. After I go to Chicago, I won't be a doctor anymore, Wu Xiaoxue said calmly. You don't want to be a doctor anymore? Huamin looked at the set of scalpels but did not reach out to take them. I won't. She's still young. I have to work hard to raise her. I want to open a Chinese restaurant. It's more convenient for my tastes. I'm really not used to Western food. After speaking, Wu Xiaoxue took the initiative and stuffed the item into Huamin's hand. Thank you. Huamin felt that this set of scalpels was a little heavy. Huamin. Goodbye. Wu Xiaoxue seemed to be saying goodbye in advance. Send me your itinerary when you're leaving. I'll see you off. It's okay, there's a different time zone. My flight is in the morning, so I'll be with my family. Don't worry. Then remember to call me. Huamin was a little sad to see her go. You too. I hope that I can live to see the day when you become a doctor. You'll definitely be a very, very good doctor. Huamin didn't say anything and he only smiled. After leaving Wu Xiaoxue's home and heading downstairs, Huamin vaguely saw a familiar man walking towards him. Why are you here? Ning Ziyuan came back to get some things and was surprised to see Huamin downstairs. He froze. The two were about 3 meters away from each other, and they looked at each other. Chapter 659. I'm here to see Xiaoxue and the kids. Huamin looked at Ning Ziyuan coldly. If she didn't feel anything for Ning Ziyuan before, now that she saw how pitiful Wu Xiaoxue and the kids were, she began to hate him. She had already started to hate this man. He was no longer the handsome young man she had met in university. All she saw now was a disgusting scumbag. You're here to see Wu Xiaoxue? You're close to her, aren't you? Ning Ziyuan didn't seem to know that Wu Xiaoxue and Huamin had already reconciled. That's between me and her, I don't need to tell you. Then Huamin walked towards his car. Mion, what's up? Huamin stopped walking and didn't even look back. She didn't want to see him, not at all. How are you doing now? Huh? Aren't you able to see me on TV and in the newspapers? Huamin chuckled. I think Qin Chu doesn't treat you well. He went public with everything and pushed you to the center of attention. I think he's trying to clear his name by showing off his relationship with you. You've been used, do you know that? Upon hearing these words, Huamin turned around and looked at Ning Ziyuan with a complicated expression. Really? I've really been used? Yeah, you're so smart, didn't you notice? Ning Ziyuan said earnestly. Thank you for reminding me. Now I know that I've been used, but, so what? He's my husband, I'm willing to be used. Huamin said on purpose. Are you willing to do anything just because of money? Even if you're bullied by that evil mother-in-law, you're willing to endure it? After all these years, you still don't know me at all. Let me tell you, I've drunk the strongest alcohol and given up on the person I love the most. I can be as stubborn as a madman, but I can also work like a man. I can also be a good wife and mother at home, a good wife and a good mother. Everything depends on who you are. So don't ever try to look at me from your point of view, because I'm afraid you'll never understand. With that, Huamin walked away without looking back. She had nothing to say to Ning Ziyuan. He wasn't even a familiar stranger. Based on what he had done to Wu Xiaoxue and her daughter, he was not worthy of forgiveness. It didn't matter if he was fired by President Wu or chased out of the Wu family's mansion. Everything was his own doing. Ning Ziyuan looked at Huamin's back and stood there for a long time in a daze. He suddenly realized that the best time of his life was when he was chasing Huamin in university. But those days were gone forever. Sometimes, he even thought that if he had trusted Huamin and stood by her side, he would not have done those things that hurt her. In that case, would she not leave him? Not going back to Qin Chu's side? But there were no ifs in life. There were only consequences and results. Everything that happened today was his own fault. Once upon a time, Huamin was willing to trust him and let him be by her side. But he didn't cherish her, so who could he blame now? By the time Huamin got home, Qin Chu had already made dinner. Sometimes, when he thought about it, although Mr. Qin didn't talk much, he was still a caring man. He was so busy, but when he got home, he immediately took off his role as the boss and played the role of a husband. He made delicious food for Huamin. Wow, it smells so good. Honey, did you make seafood? Huamin asked as soon as he got home. You have a good nose. Qin Chu smiled. He brought out dinner. It was steamed crab, mantis shrimp, spicy stir-fried sea cucumber, and tinfoil roasted clams. These were all Huamin's favorite seafood. Ever since he found out that Qin Chu couldn't eat seafood, Huamin had been very restrained. He almost forgot how long it had been since he last ate seafood. But Mr. Qin remembered it clearly. Huh? One who is unaccountably solicitous must be hiding evil intentions. Honey, you're so nice to me, do you have a favor to ask of me? Of course I do, Xianxia said matter-of-factly. Then what do you want from me, Mr. Qin? Huamin walked over and hugged Xianxia's waist from behind. Then he began to act coquettishly. I want you to be on top tonight. I've been really tired lately, so please take the initiative. Huamin almost choked. Mr. Qin was talking dirty again? Was there anyone who could control him? Chapter 660. What? Can't you satisfy your husband's one request? Xianxia looked like he was wronged. Mr. Qin, you're bullying me. Huamin yelled. She was inexperienced to begin with, but Xianxia wanted her to take the initiative, a man on top and a woman on the bottom. Oh my, so dirty, I'll stop teasing you, let's eat. Xianxia lovingly let go of Huamin's hand. Then he ate seafood with her. Xianxia's stomach was sensitive, so she only had a little bit of lobster congee. Oh right, honey, I want to talk to you about something. Okay. Didn't Hua Zhenghai speak up for me today? He asked me to do something. What is it? Xianxia looked up at Huamin. He wants to have tea with you and talk about the cooperation between the Hua Corporation and GK. Huamin skipped over Suyu. After all, she didn't want to mention Suyu in front of Xianxia because she didn't want to make her husband feel bad, even though there was nothing going on between her and Suyu. He sure knows how to scheme. He went to the old house today and bewitched my mom, playing the role of a good father. But I promised him that you guys would meet. It's up to you to decide if it works out or not. I'm only responsible for you guys meeting. You won't be mad at me, right? Why would I be? Xianxia smiled. Really? Do you plan on meeting him? I'll go. My wife agreed on my behalf, so I have to give you face. Xianxia spoiled Huamin 100 times. He never blamed her for acting on her own. Honey, you're the best. I'm the best, so are you going to do something for me later? Here we go again. Huamin was truly speechless. Ever since Mr. Qin came back, he seemed to be asking for her a lot. Honey, I read in a magazine that couples should only do it 2 or 3 times a week. It's not good for the body if it's too much. Huamian said with a straight face. I read in a magazine that newlyweds who have been married for less than a year can do it once a day, or even multiple times a day. Really? Huamin was confused again. Mr. Qin sure knows how to pick up girls. Yes. That's why we haven't been together for more than a year. We're still newlyweds, so it's normal for us to ask for more. But, honey, don't tell me you dislike me? Mr. Qin's innocent expression melted Huamin's heart. I didn't. Hubby, why would I dislike you? Then you'll be on top and I'll be on the bottom tonight. Mr. Qin dug a hole. Then, our little fox with an IQ of 130 also foolishly jumped down. Sure enough, in front of the person he loved the most, all his IQ was useless. Unable to resist Mr. Qin's seduction, Huamin finally covered his face and took the lead. The result was surprisingly good, because she realized that this position was actually quite comfortable. It seemed like she still didn't know enough. Xianxia looked at his wife, who was sighing in amazement, and chuckled. It seemed like he would have to take this position more often in the future. He wanted to try every one of the 108 positions recommended in the textbook. It would definitely feel amazing after Mr. Qin's torment. Huamin was exhausted and wanted to go to bed. Just as he was about to sleep, he received a call from Jiang Xiaowei. Huamin, come and keep me company. I'm at Seductive Fox's top-floor private room C. After speaking, Jiang Xiaowei hung up. Huamin immediately woke up. Ever since he became friends with Jiang Xiaowei, his heart had been pounding. She was always like this, appearing and disappearing like a ghost. Honey, are you going out? Xianxia asked curiously when he saw Huamin sleepily get up and get dressed. Chapter 661. I'm going to see a friend, Huamin said as she put on her clothes. Xianxia looked down at his watch. It's too late, it's not safe. I'll drive you. Huamin knew that Xianxia was worried about her, so she didn't reject him. The two went downstairs together. Qin Chu drove the Maybach to Seductive Fox. I'll wait for you guys in the car. Don't get drunk, Qin Chu reminded her worriedly. I know, Mr. Qin, I'll be a good girl. Wait for me here. Huamin was grateful that Qin Chu was so considerate. After all, Jiang Xiaowei was a female friend of his. She wasn't close with Qin Chu, unlike Zhu Lingling, who had known them since high school. So, Qin Chu's best option was to wait in the car for them to have fun before taking his wife home. Although Seductive Fox was a place with all sorts of people, Qin Chu wasn't worried because it was Rick's place, so he didn't follow them. Huamin was in a hurry, so she didn't bother to dress up. She wore a long black hoodie and a pair of black leggings, but in reality, it was late autumn, so this kind of outfit wasn't enough to keep out the cold. After she got out of the car, a gust of cold wind hit her in the face. Huamin shivered from the cold. Then, she jogged into Seductive Fox and headed straight for the private room on the top floor. Which room is it? Room A, B, C, or D? Huamin was in a daze when she answered Jiang Xiaowei's call, so she didn't pay much attention to it and forgot about it. She looked around the luxurious rooms in a daze. She picked up her phone and was about to call Jiang Xiaowei when the door to room B suddenly opened. Tang Chuan, a big-breasted girl, walked out unsteadily. When she saw Huamin, she immediately perked up. Head nurse. Why are you here? Are my eyes playing tricks on me? I'm here to look for a friend, Huamin replied calmly. Could it be our Lord Su? He's inside. Hurry up. Tang Chuan was the kind of person who liked to kick up a fuss. Therefore, when he saw Huamin at the door of the private room, he couldn't wait to push her in front of Su Yu. No, I'm here to see a girlfriend of mine, Huamin explained. At this time, Jiang Xiaowei called. Have you arrived yet? We're here. What's your room number? Huamin quickly asked. C. Okay, 3 seconds. After speaking, Huamin turned around, walked a few steps, and opened the door to room C. She even forgot to talk to Tang Chuan. Young Master Tang, why don't we go to the washroom? It's dark there, the hot girl boldly invited. Wait, sweetheart, let me give Lord Su a message first. After speaking, Tang Chuan left his date behind and went back into room B. When Huamin walked in, he was immediately dumbfounded. Jiang Xiaowei was the only one in the spacious private room. She was wearing a black miniskirt and a red shawl with tassels. She looked beautiful and sexy, but what was with the countless beer bottles in front of the table? Huamin estimated that there were about 17 or 18 empty bottles. You're here? So, Jiang Xiaowei smiled, revealing 2 of her signature canine teeth. Come to think of it, even a cold goddess like her would only be in a good mood when she saw Huamin. Did you drink all of this? Huamin asked suspiciously. Is there a second person in the room? Jiang Xiaowei laughed. You are amazing. I worship you. Huamin always thought that she was one of the girls with a decent alcohol tolerance, but Jiang Xiaowei instantly crushed her. This was too scary. What's wrong? Did your blind date fail again? Huamin noticed that she was a little depressed, so he asked. Chapter 662. My blind date failed, so I should celebrate like every other time. So you succeeded this time? Huamin looked at her in surprise. It's not really a success, but my parents really like that guy. I just don't feel good about it, Jiang Xiaowei said as she poured 2 glasses of wine. She handed one to Huamian and downed the other in one gulp. Ahem. I'll secretly drink with you one day. My husband is downstairs, and if he finds out that I'm drinking, he'll kill me. Huamin really didn't dare to secretly drink anymore because the last time he drank, he was sent to the police station and interrogated by Qin Chu until he wished he was dead. Mr. Qin was scary when he was angry. Although he spoiled her, he would never tolerate her bad habits. Okay, then I'll drink by myself. Jiang Xiaowei poured herself another glass and downed it in one gulp. She didn't even blink and drank as if she was drinking cold water. It was Huamin's first time seeing such a strong woman. You don't like him? Huamin asked tentatively. How should I put it? He's a perfect candidate for marriage. He's 30 years old, works in the environmental protection industry, is a young CEO, returned from overseas, and is a genius in finance. He's handsome and has a good conversation style. His family background is clean, and he doesn't have a romantic history. Wow, you don't like him? Huamin couldn't help but sigh after hearing Jiang Xiaowei say so much. Good men were almost extinct nowadays, and Huamin thought she was extremely lucky to meet such a perfect guy on a blind date. Yeah, he looks great at first glance, and I think he's a perfect candidate for marriage, but I feel like something's missing. What do you feel? Something like that? He's a typical Scorpio, and he's terrifyingly rational. He knows what he wants, and I know that he doesn't love me. He just wants me to be his wife because I'm suitable for marriage. To outsiders, we're a perfect couple, but it's just a label we use to make each other work. You can't think of it that way. What if they fall in love after marriage? It's not like there's no one around who's been in love before. Jiang Xiaowei smiled bitterly. But I don't want to take the risk. What if I still don't like him after we get married? Am I supposed to get a divorce? What's the situation now? Huamin asked. The two families intend to get engaged in a week's time. So fast. Huamin was also surprised. You know what? Actually, I felt that I was quite conflicted. On one hand, I felt that I had reached the age where I should just find a suitable man and get married. After all, I wasn't a little girl anymore. What kind of love could I desire? But on the other hand, I really can't accept it. I always hope that one day when I get married, it's because of love, not because of suitability. After all, the kind of man you choose will decide the quality of your life in the future. You're right. What are you going to do? Huamin looked at Jiang Xiaowei sympathetically. She was such an outstanding woman, yet she was in so much pain because she couldn't make a decision about her marriage. At this moment, she was really glad that she married Qin Chu. If she had agreed to marry Wei Dong in order to save her brother, or if she had continued to pretend to be mediocre and married Ning Ziyuan, perhaps she wouldn't be as happy as she was now. After all, marrying a man she didn't love was a sad thing. I don't know what to do either. Help me come up with an idea. Jiang Xiaowei poured another glass of wine. This time, before she could drink it, Huamin took it away from her. It's useless to drink too much. Once you sober up, you'll still have to face it. Then what am I going to do? Huamin, am I really going to marry that man? I can't accept it. Jiang Xiaowei looked at Huamin with tears in her eyes. Before Huamin could say anything, the door to the private room was suddenly pushed open. Why didn't you say anything to me when you came? Is there a girl more heartless than you in the world? Su Yu walked in with a dark expression. Chapter 663. Why are you here? Huamin was quite surprised that Su Yu suddenly ran over. That bitch Tang Chuan ran over to Lord Su to ask for credit. When Su Yu heard that Huamin was here, he immediately felt better. He couldn't even sit still and immediately wanted to come over. In the end, it was Wei Liao who told him to be more reserved. He forced him to drink 3 glasses of wine before letting him go. Hey, isn't this pretty girl from that day at the hospital? Wei Liao's memory was quite good. Although that day, Jiang Xiaowei's side profile was a killer, but Wei Liao still recognized her. That stud Tang Chuan was hiding in a corner and having with a hot girl. Otherwise, if he was there, he could help identify her. Do you guys know each other? Huamin looked at Wei Liao strangely. Wei Liao immediately shook his head. No, I don't. You know Su Yu? Jiang Xiaowei obviously wasn't drunk, so she looked at Huamin and asked. I used to take care of him when he was hospitalized at Southside, Huamin briefly explained. Su Yu felt like the chances of him bringing Huamin to his private room weren't high. So, he simply sat down on the sofa next to Huamin. What are you doing? Huamin looked at him in confusion. You definitely can't go over to my room, so I think I should sit down and keep you company. This isn't my private room, it's my friend's. Huamin wanted to cry, but no tears came out. Su Yu had been quiet for a long time, but now he was going to start messing around again. Waiter, put all the expenses in this private room on my tab. Okay, young Master Su. The waiter immediately ran over and added a lot of snacks and drinks. Rich people are so willful. Jiang Shaowei glanced at Su Yu and said, "He's no longer a simple nouveau riche. With how much money he spends, we've already called him a god-level nouveau riche." Wei Liao smiled. Then, Su Yu and Wei Liao shamelessly refused to leave the room without the owner's permission. Inside the CEO's office on the top floor of Seductive Fox, Rick looked at the surveillance camera and pondered for a while. Then he called Qin Chu. Although he was not a tattletale, he knew that Qin Chu cared a lot about Huamin. "Hello." Qin Chu answered the phone. "Your wife came to my place again." Please note that Rick used the word again. "I know. I came with her." "Where are you?" Rick was confused. "I'm in the car downstairs. She went up to keep a friend company." "It's not convenient for me," Qin Chu explained. "Then let me tell you something. Calm down after you hear it." "What is it?" "Your wife's friend is in room C, and Su Yu and the others are in room B. So?" Qin Chu continued to ask. "So, 3 minutes ago, Su Yu and the others went to room C. Are you sure you don't want to come up and take a look?" Qin Chu was silent for 5 seconds. "I'm not going up. I trust her," Qin Chu said calmly. He knew what kind of person Huamin was. He didn't want to restrict her too much. They needed to respect each other and have their own privacy. Even though they were husband and wife, they couldn't pressure each other to the point that they couldn't breathe. If Qin Chu checked Huamin's Weibo and WeChat every day, after a while, even if there weren't any conflicts, there would be conflicts. So, even though he heard from Rick that Su Yu went to look for Huamin in room C, he wasn't worried at all. "You're such a boss." Rick was speechless. "If it's mine, no one can take it away. If it's not mine, I won't be able to keep it even if I force it," Qin Chu said slowly. "Fine, I don't understand what you Chinese people are thinking. Anyways, I told you. You're on your own now." Rick hung up the phone. Qin Chu continued to analyze the data on his laptop as usual. He wasn't worried about what was going on upstairs at all. This was not at all like the steadiness and maturity of a 27-year-old young man. Of course, the reason he wasn't worried wasn't because he didn't love Huamin. It was because he loved her so much that he didn't want to hurt her pride. "What are you doing here in the middle of the night instead of sleeping at home? Why are you wearing pajamas?" Su Yu looked at Huamin with disdain. He looked at her from head to toe, and came to the conclusion that Huamin came out in pajamas. You're tuning in to the Wang Lin's Journey YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.